see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.
All right, so I got a little story for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so earlier, you know, I had to go to my aunt's birthday party.
Right.
Yeah, we got a bunch of family together. You know, at least it's been for a good cause finally, because the last couple times we've gotten together were for funerals. This time it was for a birthday, so I mean it's kind of the same. There's cake and everybody cries. You know, focus on one old person. Anyways,
Things get thrown, the wailing and gnashing of teeth.
yes, all of that things. Yeah, you burn the body afterwards. Anyways,
Right.
so after everybody gets food and everybody, you know, we all go to our separate tables, somehow divvied out by family group, you know, and the wifey is trying to tell me something because I was actually on the phone with Bobby when we got there, so I was sitting out in the car while she went inside, and she's like, "Yeah, while you were in there, what's his face came over to me." I'm like, "Who?" And she's like, "Your cousin." And I'm like, "Which one?" That's a pretty broad topic here. And she's like, and her face just goes completely blank. And I'm like, "Oh my God." And then like when I named one of them, and obviously I don't want to throw out real names here, so we'll call him Steve. And she's like, "No, not him." And then I realize who she's talking about, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you can't remember his name." And she's like, No, it's not that." I'm like, "You can't remember his name." Now, mind you, this cousin is the one that we tend to spend the most amount of time with. Like him and his girlfriend and her family. Well, they're the ones that we go and hang out and have card nights and have had birthday parties, you know, New Year's, shit. For literally the last like 3 years, we've spent a lot of time hanging out with these people because all our other friends have disappeared. And his name has completely escaped her brain. It's like nothing there. So
yeah, that happens.
Yeah, this is what I said. The way I put it is that she had too many brain beans. Too many brain beans, so she ends up with a massive brain fart. So here's the thing that I did not expect. One, I told everyone at the table, do not tell her. I was like, she forgot this person's name. And then she's like, just tell me what it is. Oh, I was like, oh, you mean Stacy's boyfriend? And then I said, oh, you mean Aunt Trisha's son? You know, I literally going to all of his relationships, but not saying his name.
Oh, let the skirting begin.
Yes. And so she actually gets up and walks over to their table and goes, "What is your name again?" And like everyone at the table just completely dumbfounded by this, thinking she's high or drunk. And he's like, "Yeah, what? Damn, I've ran out of fake names." Either
Tom?
way, yeah, Tom. And she's like, "That's it." And then she actually sits there and explains to everyone at the table that she was just dumb and forgot the name. And therefore, for the whole rest of the party, we gave her shit about it. The
gift that keeps on giving. Humiliation.
Yes. But the main reason I tell this story is because this is the person that I have to go couch cushion shopping with very shortly. I'm
so sorry.
Hence the video that I sent to you guys to watch. And I played her that on the way home because we were having this discussion the other day, and that instantly came to mind, but I didn't want to try to quote it from memory because it is quite an amusing scene. And I asked her the same question. Why the hell do you need more couch cushions, or pillows, I should say? And she's like, because she basically made the exact same arguments that the woman did in the clip. If you guys are wondering what we're talking about, I will have it linked down below. It is a clip from the show Coupling, and it literally comes down to shopping for couch cushions in an actual store that sells such things. And it is a quite amusing exchange. But that is a thing.
Not really.
Well, shut up. So that leads me to ask you guys, in your own homes, is there a lack of or an abundance of extraneous couch cushions in your homes?
I'm going to let Sean answer first.
Fuck yes, man. There's at least 27 on one chair. If you count the little decorative pillows on the bed, there's at least
I do.
$250,000 on that.
I do. I do count decorative pillows on the bed as well because we have a couple of them. Though the funny part is I took those extra we had like the little ones that were just sort of there, but they're still sort of usable if you just need an extra pillow. But then there were the tiny ones that were purely decorative. I actually used those for extra cushion on my old desk chair that was really worn out. So I actually sat on them. So I did actually have to do that. But Mike, how about your house?
No, actually.
What?
At most, let's see. Okay. At probably one pillow at the moment, only because my wife has a little bit of a bad back problem, so she kind of uses that for support.
But it's not a decorative deal.
But it's exactly, but it's not a decorative thing. And maybe on occasion a blanket or two, like a small blanket.
Blankets are fine. Blankets are completely.
Yeah, blankets are fine, right?
That's utilitarian.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Okay.
If you're a little chilly or whatever, you cover it with a blanket, right?
Yes. Or ball it up to make a pillow.
Exactly. Which is what I do sometimes because, if you're staying up late and your head ends up nodding back or you're falling asleep, you ball it up. Yeah. Put it behind you because, our couch is like right, next to the wall. And you just rest and fall asleep while you let, whoever it is watching TV.
Nice. But yeah. We've got three of them, 2 for the main couch and then one that was extra that I actually got her for her birthday last year, and she ended up the stitching on it kind of sucked and it ended up bursting. But I put it on the side couch where nobody really lays on it, just to keep some life in it. But she does want to go get more pillows. But she also wants and though here's the funny part, this is the argument. So she went to Target yesterday while I was at work. And knowing what happened the last time, I told you guys about the knockdown drag out fight we had a couple weeks ago. And it was over decorating and superfluous things and my thoughts on certain, what it is. Me being a dick is really what it came down to. So I knew she was going shopping at Target. And so my first words out of my mouth, because we got home right behind each other, because she started carrying bags in and I hadn't seen her yet. So the first words out of my mouth as she walked into the room was, "Did you buy couch cushions?" Because she had talked about it before. And she does every time we walk through like the home goods area, stuff like that, she'll do the thing of petting the soft furry ones or those stupid sequin pillows.
Oh God.
What, Sean?
I said that's why she likes you, soft furry.
Yeah, soft and furry. That's exactly correct. Now, the thing is, the pillow I bought her for her birthday was actually one of the ones that she had stopped in the store and had petted for quite some time. And it is it is a really nice soft pillow, and it is fun to rub. But she really wanted those stupid sequin ones where you flip it one way, it's a different color, that kind of dumb shit. And I'm like, you're not buying that. And she's like, why? I was like, because imagine laying on it. And then you turn your face up, and then you just it looks like you've turned into a lizard person. Yeah. It's like, no. It's like either you're gonna lay on it, or you're not gonna have it as a cushion. It just seems stupid.
I could just imagine, lying on it, and you pick your face up, and it looks like you have scales.
Yes, it literally would. It actually.
I'm the lizard queen.
You are the lizard queen, Mike. You guys heard it here first. Mike is in fact the lizard queen.
There you go.
It is no longer what's his face from the Doors, Jim
Bowie
Morrison
and Trimble. So
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, no, that was one. We did avoid the fight because she actually she did think about it in the store, and she said, no, if I came home with couch cushions, he would kill me. I was like, well, yes, that is a thing that we should go and buy together. Because it would make sense. She wants jumbo ones, where she can have a stack of them and it basically becomes another enormous armrest. And I'm like, so where will you sit? It's like the couch isn't that big. It's like you can't overload it.
So many pillows that you can stack them one on top of each other and you have a footrest.
I figure it's going to be a Princess and the Pea situation.
Yeah.
Except it's going to be Princess and the TV remote. Can you feel the TV remote? Under the 19 pillows on the fucking couch.
I've been searching since last week and I still can't find the damn remote.
This has happened.
Damn you cushions.
So
Damn you.
that did happen at our old place. It had actually fallen into a very strange crevice within the couch that we could not access from top, bottom, or behind. Like it took
into a parallel universe.
It almost went into the sock universe, but actually it fell into the lighter. It fell into
the socks go.
You know, it went where all lighters go for smokers. What the fuck is my lighter? And then you suddenly find them in a pocket that didn't exist before on these pants. It's like, I didn't have a pocket in these pants before, but somehow there's 5 lighters in it. Thanks, Dr. Strange.
Yeah. How many of those are there? The sock universe, the lighter universe?
I mean, there's a few. It just depends. Because they're obviously you can't have them in the same thing. You can't have the lighters in the sock universe because that's a fire hazard for the sock elves.
Technically, wouldn't that be a pocket universe?
Oh, this motherfucker.
Pocket dimension, maybe.
And that was and tonight is Mike's last episode. He made it to episode 3. No, 2. This is technically episode 2.
It had to be said. Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's just fucking dumb. The other thing is, the worst and biggest pocket universe is the 10mm socket universe.
Yes. I will have to totally agree with you on that. You can never find a 10mm when you really need it.
Where do they go?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. So it's the sock elves and it's the socket gremlins.
Yeah,
they're very similar because sock and socket. So they have to make sure they grab the right thing when they reach through into our universe.
Oh shit! Yeah, they're like Dobby, man. If they grab the wrong one, they're free.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you can't have the sock elves accidentally grabbing a socket because then they will no longer be a slave to Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah. What was the ones on South Park again?
What was that?
What was the ones on South Park again?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, South Park has done so much insane shit. I have no clue.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, no, fuck the 10mm socket universe. Although maybe we should start praying to them and they'll give them back.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say, guys, the impossible did happen once. I did recover not just any 10mm socket, but my 3/8 drive deep socket 10mm.
Ooh.
From the frame of my car.
Wow.
It fell in from above, and then in moving things around while working on it, it actually fell out the bottom.
It
was a miracle.
It's like immaculate conception.
It was a Kwanzaa miracle.
Kwanzaa.
If it was me, it would have hit me in the mouth and chipped a tooth.
Sean, you should really stop ratcheting with your mouth. Wait, is that where the term came from? That bitch's teeth be ratchet?
I think you're onto something there.
I think I'm on something for sure. And all right, and just like that, that's how we made this awkward. So welcome to episode 2, technically speaking, because we don't really qualify the fucking pilot episode as an actual number. And guys, we're sorry just in advance for whatever it is we might do. It's probably going to offend you, or you might agree with us. Who cares? But over here in one corner, we have Shaun, the Big Daddy Diesel.
What it do?
Yep.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's doing better than us because they didn't have to wait on you. And then over in the other corner, we do have Mike, the comic relief crusader.
G'day.
He's Australian today.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
He's usually Canadian.
Yeah, dreaming about Canadian bacon.
Sometimes Canadian, sometimes Australian, sometimes Russian, always communist. And I am, of course, SHOKY. I am, of course, SHOKY, and you're watching this over here, generally, probably on the SHOKY Reviews channel. And if you want to see links to any of our bullshit, it's going to be in the description down below. So if you want to check out my merch store or any of my channels, or Mike's channel or his merch stores, or if you want to bug Sean to paint robots for you, or at least come look at his cool things that he's painted, go check out ShaunDiesel's Body Shop on the Facebooks. And yeah. So, as we like to do, we talk about the weeks that we have just gone through, but it's been 2 weeks since we actually recorded this. For all those 70 people who've listened to the podcast, we're sorry that you had to wait 2 weeks for another one. And because Sean was significantly late tonight, he gets to go first.
Yeah.
How's been your last 2 weeks, sir?
Yeah, that's my bad. First of all, to those 70 people that listen to the podcast, why? Number one. And number two, you should probably stop. Just going to tell you that now.
Don't listen to this man. He's on crack. He's been huffing paint thinner. Like and subscribe.
And also, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So,
no, absence makes a view count go down.
Well, they want that too, yeah.
So, just been super busy, man. Same thing, different day. It's crazy at work. Putting in a shit ton of overtime to get these cars out. The boss has a rebuilder that he sold, and he never finished it, or we never finished it. So I've been trying to bust on that to get it done. I'm almost done.
He means getting work done. He doesn't mean the other kind of busting on it.
Yeah. Dude, I was finishing.
It's like, I like it this much. The premium finish.
Yeah. But other than that, I did finally get the SOC Megazord in and an SOC Dragonzord.
Yeah. I'm jealous. You know that.
I love them so much. So much. Love you. They're amazing, man. I haven't felt like this from a figure in a long time. They just like kid joys, like little kid tingles. That sounds bad.
And like that, we were canceled.
No, just Sean.
Oh man, come on! You gonna let me sink the ship by myself? Not even gonna stay?
We had a good run.
Look,
and then this happened.
Look, we
then
can still stay friends. We just have to change your name on the podcast.
I am not associated with this man whatsoever.
Well, you motherfuckers better put something in my commissary. Anyway, so like I was saying.
So back to your little kid tingles.
Yeah. Oh God. Anyways, yeah, man. I feel like Christmas morning when I was setting these up and looking at them. I don't know why. I mean, I can get a Masterpiece Transformer. I open it up, pose it real quick, put it in the case or the shelf, and then it's done. It's over. I look at it every now and then like it's an addition, and yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I like it. Whatever. But these guys, I can't stop looking at them. I don't know why I feel like a kid again so much with these versus everything else that I've gotten.
Nice.
I think it was just that particular developmental area when Power Rangers became a thing in your life, because I felt the same way when I first got the Legacy Megazords, from Power Rangers, or from from Bandai, and I was like, man, it's like I got ones that I'd never had before, like the Ninja Megazord. I never had it, so when I first opened that up, I was like giddy, like I completely understand. And when I get a new toy or figure like that, half the time they stay in the living room until I'm done playing with them, and then take the time to review them. Like there's a rule in the SHOKY house. It's like if it's new and I'm playing with it, it stays in the living room. When it comes to review time, it goes into the cave and then it goes on display. But it's gonna stay out until I'm done playing with it. That sounded worse. God damn it. So to speak.
This is going to be such a good episode.
So to speak, But, I mean, I have the Soul Jigoken Megazord as well. I'm looking right across at it, actually. See, one reason I reoriented my desk is so I can look at my Power Ranger shit instead of my Transformer shit. And my Thundercats, too. They're over there. And, okay, so you've got... It doesn't have any loose stuff, right? Like, because my arms are fairly loose on mine. Like the elbow joints.
This was a mint and sealed box when I got it. So the dude didn't know what was inside it. He just had one.
Yeah.
Put up. Wow. The first thing I do is pull out, oh God,
a knife.
Pull it out of the box to look at it to make sure nothing's broke, right? Well, right off the bat, saber tooth tusk was broke off on one side.
Oh, no way.
Broke or just loose?
It was broke. Like one of the toofies was broke because that thing is like a U and it rides. Well, one of the tooth was broke off. It took about 10 minutes to fix, but still, I was like, "Oh God, here we go."
That's crazy. A mint and seal box broken one.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just whatever wrapping around in that box, or maybe they were flipped down instead of up. I don't know.
Yeah, the only way that would happen is they put it in. It was in the wrong position when they put it in the box, and it would have snapped off when they sealed it.
Right, but I mean, it took 10 minutes to fix, and it won't break now because it's pinned together. But you'll never know it was ever fixed. Other than that, I mean, no scuffs, nothing else broke.
Shouldn't be.
His arms they're not as tight as I would think they should be. Like they should be, but they're not loose. He's not really that wobbly, but
no, mine's not wobbly or anything. Well, mine, like getting the, there's also a kind of heel spur, I believe, that folds down on the back of Sabretooth. Yeah, so that's always a good thing to figure out too. But no, the arms will hold up, but like if you just give it a light tap, it'll drop. Like it's got only enough friction to just hold it. And the mammoth shield technically is really loose in the hand. Like it will flop around if you do anything. Like there's no good grip to it. You know, I don't think there ever was, but that's the thing. I will tell you though, the chrome on it will oxidize a little depending on your contact with it. So my sword has a good bit of oxidation on it.
Huh.
And the chest, like the pterodactyl part where it's chrome, also has a bit of oxidation on it. Just from that's like the part you handle the most because you hold the thing from the fucking torso when you're moving it around. Right. But no,
I mean, every time I've touched him, I've wiped him down with a microfiber just because prints drive me nuts.
I bet. So after you pulled it out, you wipe him down every time you're done with him.
Yep, and I ain't got no babies.
God damn it! I was hoping
the suggested material.
I opened the door and I was sad to have done so.
And I tripped and busted my face while I threw it.
At least it was your face.
It's always my face.
So and then your Dragon Zord that I'm jealous of, except for the fact that it's broken.
Yeah, so I picked that thing up super cheap. And apparently it's a common issue. There's this one hinge that's like the shoulder, the gold piece on the shoulder that wraps the arm around. Those are known to be broken or break extremely easy. When I was looking at it, when I finally got it, if there's a roll pin instead of a solid pin, it goes through that gold piece into a black plastic hinge. Gotcha. I guarantee you it was probably cracked from factory, and then you manipulate it just a few times, it's going to fall right apart. If that's happened so much.
I do have a question on it because you didn't send me a picture. Is it where the arm retracts into the gold, or is it the hinge of the gold piece for like when it goes into Mega Dragon Zord?
The second one.
Okay, so it's where that hinge joint where you would split it in half and hinge it up.
Yes.
Oh, and then that extra joint, that extra black joint you're talking about is whenever it folds together up front. To make it to do Dragon Zord battle mode, right?
Yeah, that's what would hold it up.
Okay, so because I have not gotten the Soul Chigokin one, even though it's not tremendously different from the Legacy. It's got a little bit more detail, and some of the stuff in the tail is a little cooler. Like the way the staff folds up and hides in the chest is pretty cool. So it's not a separate piece. I'm sure you probably didn't play around a whole lot with that stuff, but because I had the black and gold set from Bandai, which was really fucking cool. I even had Titanus. The only thing was I didn't have a good way to display him, and then I needed money, for that surgery, to have my eyes reinstalled. Then I had to sell those. Unfortunately, I sold off a lot of my stuff, but I actually really do miss having a Dragon Zord. It was my favorite frickin' Zord up until the Falcon Zord, basically.
Right.
And I've only ever owned one version of it. And the Solo Chigokin is one of my white whales, technically. So we need to if you find another broken one for cheap, let me know.
Yeah, man. If I could find another one at the price I gave for this one, I'd definitely buy it just to have and fix it.
Yeah.
Or, because Like I would snatch it up for somebody.
Yeah, the other option is we do what I told you the other day. I was like, hey, just buy my Megazord with your next Dragon Zord, and then that way I don't have to worry about it anymore, and you can have a multi version. So you can have the Mega Dragon Zord.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you got to have them. Like I took, they're on the shelf together right now. I took one down and scooped everything centered over, and it looks great. But man, it's when they're together. It's when it's like, oh my god, this feels like watching the show. This feels like playing in the floor when I was in the 3rd grade.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels really good, and I love it.
That little kid Tingle.
Yeah, just God.
I think I know what the episode title is going to be.
Little kid Tingle.
Feeling that little kid tingle. Either way, I was saying the one thing that I think is interesting about any version of the Dragon Zord that's come out in modern, even actually, I guess even the original one, they're all shorter than it was represented on the show. Like it was always, it's always represented as the same height as the Megazord. But
yeah,
the toy, there'd be way too much of it if they did it that big. Are the feet on that thing heavy as hell?
hell yeah, man! They got a big old chunk of die cast, and it's chrome too.
Yeah, so that's the big issue with using it as Mega Dragon Zord or technically Ultra Zord form is if they don't have a good ratchet in that thing when you turn it up, is that it just wants to flop. And that was a really big problem with the Legacy version. Because also they had it to where when you turn those knees up or the feet up at the knees, it had just a couple little stupid flaps that would like just flip up to get out of the way, but they didn't have a way to hide those. And there was only friction, like not even a real ratchet joint there. But hopefully that version has fixed that. But what's funny, if you even get around to trying to get the Titanus, it is marginally different than the original Legacy version.
Really?
Yeah, it's got like they added some die-cast parts, got rid of any hollowness, and just changed the actual footprint area where the Megazord stands. But like the mold is almost identical, the size is identical, all that kind of stuff. But like, because I was really looking at it, I was like, when it was out, I'm like, do I bother? Because I know a lot of people basically I think some people started modding their Legacy Titanus. Because basically the feet on the Soul of Chogokin are bigger than the Legacy was. So they had to actually make the hole that it stands in bigger, but they couldn't make Titanus bigger. So they basically just made all new footprint inside, and then when the hatch opens up, it's basically the same as it was before. They just added a little more paint detail and more die-cast to it. That's basically the major changes between the two figures. But yeah, there's something about those Mighty Morphin figures, man, and I don't think Hasbro's remotely going to come close in their quality.
Yeah, I wonder about that.
Yeah, because that new whatever Zord Ascension project, their Zap, they're gonna get their Zap Megazord. Whoa, I really peaked my microphone there. Like no, because it was like jumped to the top of the red. It just doesn't look as good. It's got weird details on it. I was like, what? I don't understand why you textured this and no die cast. It's going to be weird, even though it's going to be tall. You know? Weird and tall, just like Sean. Weird, tall, mold defects.
So awkward.
Yes.
Mold defects.
Yes.
Shit happens.
All right, anything else going on?
No, man, that's it. Oh, yeah, there's one more thing.
Sure.
The fin panels are 100% ready for paint now.
Holy shit.
Ooh.
All 4,000 of them.
It only took him 2 extra weeks to get fucking fin funnels done. Like, no joke, guys. This has been 2 weeks from the last recording where he was still working on them, even while we were talking. And he's legitimately done prepping them.
You are a trooper.
Yeah.
It's nuts, man. Those resin fin funnels for that kit are extremely detailed. And you got to go in there and clean all the lines up, rescribe it, prep it, prime it, prep it, prime it.
Yeah, exactly.
But they are done. Finally, done.
And then you have to paint them.
Yeah, then you got to spend 2 weeks painting them.
Oh, so wait, are you gonna have to put the millions of fucking water slides on them?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh.
Well, nice knowing you, Sean. You're clearly going to end your own life after all that. So,
Into the abyss with you.
I guess
Never to
we have you
return.
we have you for an extra couple weeks. You will be missed. Somebody will take care of Summer and the kids. Can I have your toys though? You're like, no, I'm getting buried with them. Fuck you. Buried in the fin funnels.
Like the pharaohs of old.
Yeah.
He lived how he died.
Yeah.
No, I said that backwards. Fuck it. Let's edit that out, please, editor. No. Fuck. All right. So if that's it for, have you watched anything?
I have not watched. Yes, I have. That's a lie.
Well, good. You stopped mid-lie.
I tried Peaky Blinders.
Oh yeah.
You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Hate it. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
What was that other thing?
Did you ever get around to Firefly?
No.
Oh, you should.
Chuck.
Guardians. Shit. It's a new show on Netflix. Has Diamond Dallas Page in it. It's called Guardians something.
I saw an ad for it, but I missed the title. But I remember seeing him, and I was like, oh hey.
Yeah.
It's
I watched
DDP.
the first episode of that, and it's like watching Suicide Squad on mushrooms, is what it feels like.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's a Netflix show.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, it's freaking wild. That's it.
Cool.
I tried a few. Peaky Blinders is cool. It's just, man, you go like 45 minutes of this slow, mellow-tone British bullshit, and then something finally happens, and you're like, yeah, and then nothing happens for another 45 fucking minutes.
Yeah, but it is also a period piece too. That's from what, the 30s?
Yeah, well, then you get some shit and stuff.
Lull you into a false sense of security, and then pow.
See, I had friends who swore by that show. I just never got into it at all. Like I never tried. But I mean, the wifey might like it. Maybe that'll be something we pick up together. When
it does get gangster, it's pretty gangster, man, and it's good. It's just the 45 minutes you got to spend to get the little taste. No, I don't have time. Do something cool now.
Yeah.
I don't have time for all the story and character development. Shoot somebody. I need explosions. Where's Michael Bay?
Entertain me.
I need shiny and loud and no British accents.
Why is there no explosions?
They didn't have explosions. They didn't have explosions. Just go watch Yellowstone. Just go rewatch Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. That's it for me. Next,
Mikey.
Let's see. I didn't really get anything the past 2 weeks. I am, however, waiting for Masterpiece not Starscream, Skywarp. My last secret to come in. So I'm anxiously waiting that. Unfortunately, the Takara Tomy offer, to get the coronation set, that ended at the end of February. So I can't get that.
Oh, yeah. February ended while we were off air.
Yeah. So
now we're stuck with stupid Smarch weather.
Yeah. Well, closer to spring. I'm okay with that. Yeah. So so kind of a little bit disappointed about that, but I'm sure I'll be able to find that at some point.
Yeah, just get the KO version.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be out in 3 days.
Let's see. Then I got my train bots on the way. My Getsui and SHOKY is on the way, so I can't wait for that. That'll be awesome.
Oh, the next two?
No, the first two actually.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait, are you talking about the officials?
No, the Moon Studio ones.
Oh, that's not SHOKY. SHOKY is the other one. SHOKY's the last one that's going to come out. Or no, I'm sorry. No. You're right on Getsui. You're right on Getsui, but SHOKY's the other one.
Sorry.
Yes,
yeah,
that one.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only one I know. That's the only one whose name I know.
Yeah,
it's easy for me to remember.
So they're on the way, and then I got some printed design parts that are on the way.
Not for
so it's just a matter of time.
Are you going to get the Lego train tracks so that you can actually run them around?
That I already have
Okay, cool.
already.
For those who don't know, the Moon Studios train bots are, for some reason, made to run on Lego train tracks, although they have a hard time going around corners.
It's impressive. I love it. Can't wait.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting design
What?
piece to put up on the shelf.
What's that?
Well, the fact that they're on trains, right? So
I get you. Okay, I didn't know which thing you were talking about.
Yeah, no. Once they're all formed as Raiden,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about just having them sitting on the rails.
Oh, okay, yeah. Did you see? I think this week they showed off fully painted renders, or actually, there might have been photos of the two arm bots.
I know, it's so cool.
And the only thing that sucks about Raiden is the color scheme is there's no overall team color scheme.
Yeah, it's a mishmash, but you know what? For some odd reason, it actually works.
Yeah.
In a weird sort of way. Yeah. So, yeah, can't wait for those to show up. Let's see. What happened else? What else happened?
You got older.
Yeah, last week hit the big 5-0, so I am officially almost old.
No. You are old.
Well, yeah, okay.
You've actually here's the problem, Mike. You're delusional because you've been old. You got old a while ago. But here's the problem. You're no longer over the hill. You're past that.
I'm on the top.
No, it's all downhill from here.
No. See, I'm old enough to yell at the kids on my lawn. However, still young enough not to get a senior citizen discount.
Well, that's true. But
once I hit that senior citizen discount age, then it's downhill.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, I was gonna say you can yell at the kids on your lawn, but they won't go to school uphill both ways.
Yeah, true.
So you're not that old. You're not old enough for the kids to go to school both ways uphill.
Yeah,
in the snow,
both ways.
Yeah,
uphill.
Yep, always.
Yeah. 10
10
miles.
I think you would have to be like 58 right now for that to qualify. So you're doing good. You're not that old. You're not ancient. Yeah. Back where tectonic plates were constantly active and everyone's walked to school.
When dinosaurs ruled.
When dinosaurs ruled. You sounded like Joe Biden there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hey, there's something that happened this past week that we're not really.
I had to feed my Stegosaurus ice cream so he wouldn't eat me, and then I told the wife to just, shave my legs.
But if he shaves the legs, then the compass.
And then I feel all kind of tiggly. I get those kitty tingles and stuff. And what are we talking about again? So
anyway.
That'll be me when I hit about 110. So,
good. You'll be just in time to be prime minister.
Exactly.
Of whatever's left.
Let's see that, and I got a little bit of a. I don't want to say quite a job offer, but it's more like here, do a test, and if you're good enough, then we will let you have a job kind of thing with Vectron Labs. The one that's putting out that tune-accurate Devastator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Well, so supposedly.
Well, yeah.
It's a brand new third-party company. We'll see how well that goes.
Well, yeah, exactly. Right.
In this day and age.
It's going to be interesting. So, should I make it? Let's say, should I be accepted into the hallowed halls of Vectron? Then basically I'd be, helping out working on the next project, I think after the Constructicons, which will be very interesting, to which I will technically have to say nothing to anyone about this because I will be under a,
NDA.
One of those gag contract kind of things.
Yes.
So
except
dude, sign me up.
I know. So my test is, and I have actually 12 days now at this point.
Get after it.
to draw Unicron. That's what they want, and it's got to be.
Oh, so that's just your test piece.
Yeah, that's my test piece.
Okay, but that is not leading into.
No, this is not a hint. This is not saying that Vectron is doing Unicron. This is a test. It's only a test. Had it been the real thing,
that's a different podcast.
I'd be
Mike.
jumping up and down with joy right now, and you'd all know it. So,
well, we probably would, because we would hear your knees creaking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Your 50-year-old knees.
Exactly.
They'd
buckling under the pressure.
They'd be like, "Oi, oi." Except, well, actually, no, it's Canadian. They wouldn't complain. They'd just be very politely.
Yeah, it'd be like, "Hey,
very, very politely groaning in the corner. Oh, what's wrong?
Oi is more Jewish.
Nothing.
Where I'm Canadian, it'd be like "A." So
it's still A, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been watching too many Joyish. Holy fuck! I've been watching too many Jewish shows.
So yeah. So I got to draw Unicron. It's going to be all colored, and it's got to be extremely G1 toon accurate.
I did see your quick drawings.
Yeah,
or maybe not so quick drawings, but I did see the artwork, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's I thank God I got those SH Figuarts, bodycon.
Oh yeah.
Figures, because man, that helps a lot.
I was gonna say, do you want me to pose my Unicron for you and be like, you can just draw it?
You know what? I was almost thinking of that, and
no, I'm not going to. Something will shatter.
Yeah, that have a Unicron, and I was so close to actually buying one of those Unicrons. My wife was actually encouraging me like last year to buy one.
Yeah.
So, actually,
my studio cell. Well, no, my problem is I just realized it's in planet mode, so I can't help you.
That's okay. I can wait an hour till you transform it.
Shit.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though. Longest transformations on video, because I've said I do the reviews. There have been 3 things that took a fuckload to really transform.
Right.
The first longest one was the Planet X Apocalypse. That's their Trypticon.
Oh.
Because I had to transform both pieces, then combine, and then transform. And then the other would be, I think, the Devastator. But then right behind that, which is the king of long-ass transformation videos, is that Studio One Cell Unicron. Because Jesus Christ.
Ugh.
Every little flip-floppy panel, got to make sure this thing is just in the exact right spot. That's why I want to buy another one, just to keep in bot mode and never transform the fucking thing.
But see, the thing is, my wife was encouraging me to buy the Hasbro one.
I know, because there was a deal that you had in the works.
Yeah. Well, that too.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's pretty much what was going on. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff.
Oh, hey, Canada's less on fire now.
Yeah, that's true. We are no longer under martial law, so hooray for us! Hooray for freedom.
Well, some people's freedom.
And yeah, that just kind of went tossed over to the Ukraine, I guess. Where actually, believe it or not, Trudeau right now is flying over to Europe, so he can talk about freedom.
Oh, I thought he was going to go over there and give them tips.
Oh God, this guy! I swear to God, our prime minister, the only thing he deserves is a sriracha enema.
Dude,
that's it.
Saturday night.
I mean, he would just somehow turn into a reason to do blackface again,
or go dance, with all the Bollywood stars like he did last time in India.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Okay, so I do have a question, because obviously current world events have put what happened in Canada on the back burner. So what happened to all the people arrested from the protests?
Well, actually, we still got 3 that are still in prison, being held in prison without bail.
Okay.
So essentially, we got about 3 political prisoners being held in Ottawa.
So only 3.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are doing way better than us, because there's still people who've been in jail since right after January 6th, and they have
right.
I don't want to get too much into it, because it is obviously a massively charged situation, generally speaking. But what is happening to those people is monstrous and unconstitutional, and I'll leave it at that. Because I had a friend who shared a thing with me the other day, and it was about how one woman, she had been reporting what was going on in her imprisonment for said event. And people were saying that you need to stop talking about it because it will offend normal prisoners and hurt their feelings.
God.
Because what you're going through isn't real because you're this and they're it's like, excuse me?
How much more hurt could their feelings get than being imprisoned?
But it still doesn't even make sense. The situation makes it not make sense, but that's why our government is the way it is. So either way.
But we did find out that the judge that did put them in, keeping them in jail, and this couldn't possibly be, a conflict of interest or anything like that. But she just happens to be a liberal supporter and former MP. So go figure that one out.
What does MP stand for?
Like how would you put it? An elected representative of, say, a particular county.
I figured that's what it was. I know it is a person who represents their people, whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if MP stood for anything, because obviously anybody who has a proper parliament uses that term. We don't, obviously. Because we have congressmen and we have our representatives and we have our senators, but
yeah,
I never knew what MP stood for, or if like maybe there was a like either French.
Yeah, it's kind of like a senator.
Okay, I just didn't know what I know what it is. I didn't know what if MP literally was an abbreviation for something.
It is. I just right now off the top of my head can't think of it.
That's what I was getting at. Is like, have people forgotten what the actual word is?
Right now brain fart.
Yeah.
And
you had your beans. You had your brain beans.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Don't go buying pillows right now.
I promise nothing.
Yes. Well, apparently you need more. Your couch is barren. How dare you? And hold on, if there's a seat in the house that doesn't have a cushion on it, you're offending it. Did you watch anything?
Let's see.
For your viewing pleasure.
Through Third Rock from the Sun. We actually got through all that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was just we're going like 5-6 episodes at a time, so we actually like burned right through it.
Damn.
Let's see. Watched the first episode of Picard a couple of days ago.
Season 2.
Yeah. It's not good. No. Just no.
Is it
no? Man.
But is it better than where the last season left off? I mean, no. I still haven't seen it. I've only heard about the season. I've seen how things went. I've had things spoiled for me, whatnot. But
yeah, it's, you know what? Okay, technically with season 1, at the end of season 1, the whole universe should have ended, and that was it, right?
Yeah.
I won't go into great detail because just in case nobody has watched it yet, but
none of our listeners have. I'll tell you that.
Bad. So,
hold on.
Season.
Let's poll the 70 people. Guys, have you watched Star Trek Picard? Now, the irony being our logo is, of course, Picard. But if you've seen Picard, at least one episode, let us know down below in the comments.
Or, as I would like to call it, Pucard.
Oh,
so,
God.
Yeah. So watch that. Got through that. Really not much else.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably just some old TV, and that was it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. So as for me, since we have gone 2 weeks without doing this, we've been watching Marvelous Miss Maisel on Amazon, and it is fantastic.
Nice.
It is fucking great. And like the crazy thing is, I guess because it's been running behind, like I mentioned before, COVID really, really backed it up.
Right.
They're dropping it 2 episodes every Friday. So they're really trying to blow through the season. And the character building, the reworking of the world as it was through the story is happening. Characters are finding new things to do, people having to pick up the pieces, that kind of shit like that. without getting into it. It's still fucking funny. Still love all of the characters. Still hate the ones that you're supposed to hate. Still love the ones that you're supposed to love. And the last time we talked, I was talking about the annoying part where sometimes they talk really fucking fast in a conversation, and and it's like the other person knows their line, so therefore there's no pause, think about what you're going to say, and then reply. It's just instant reply. So there's only 2 characters that really do that, and I feel like it's one of the newest cast members. So it seems to make sense that that's why.
Pretty scripty.
Yeah, it's very, but I mean, like, it's the show is convoluted in and of itself, but everything they do makes sense. And it's all character driven, which is great.
Right.
And we are now in 1960. So we've gotten up into the 60s. So it started out in the late 50s. So probably like 1957, 1958 is when it started. So obviously post World War, everything is really roaring back, all that kind of stuff like that. We're approaching the, what was it? The sexual liberation, women's lib movement, stuff like that. So right now everything is very, men first.
Yeah.
Because that's just how the world was. And the show does base around female characters, obviously Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Yeah.
And I will say this. God damn, she is hot. If you look her up, like she is just fucking hot.
Right.
And she just stays hot. It's just fucking ridiculous. One thing, they had an actor who died back in 2019. And the funny thing is he was fairly active in the first season. He was minimally active in the second and third season. I think in the third season it was only being referred to off to the side. Like, I think he was out sick, probably. Like, I forget exactly what he died of. I think cancer.
Right.
So in the fourth episode, they did a tribute to him. So his character died, like, suddenly. And he was the roommate of Susie, who is Midge's or Miriam's manager. So, she's a comedian. She needs a manager to book all her gigs. And so it was her roommate, and they shared literally like something that was about the size of a fucking closet. And he was a pretty classic actor. Like, you'd know his face, but you don't know his name. Like, he's been in enough shows as like a third string character that you would recognize him. And I didn't realize he died, but they did like such a hardcore tribute to him. Like, they did a funeral for him. And she ended up inheriting his stuff, like whatever he had,
right?
And so she calls people to come to the funeral, and she's going through like the 6 boxes of shit that he left behind, and found out like he had this whole life. Like, she'd known this guy for like 15 years and didn't know fuck all about him. Like, didn't know he fought in the war, didn't know he had this long lost love that he never got together with. And then like learned all this stuff that he had gone through in his life. And she's like, I knew nothing about this man. And is like, I treated him like shit. We were roommates, and I've known him for fucking ever. And apparently I was his best friend, and I never knew that. So she goes off, and this is Alex Bornstein, something like that. She was, she used to play the Asian lady on, In Living Color. The He Looking Like a Man. Like
from Mad TV.
Yep. Oh, Mad TV. Yeah, sorry, not. Yeah. So that's her.
Her.
Yeah. So they have this funeral for him, right? They have the whole thing. I think he was cremated technically. So they show up, and there's legitimately 4 people there. 4.
Wow.
So it's Midge, Susie, his sister, and then one of their other friends who worked the bar with them. And then he actually was in the neighboring funeral because he had showed up early, so he just went and joined somebody else's funeral to have something to watch because he's a fucking idiot. And like, she gets so pissed. Like, this pastor talks about all the stuff he did with the church and he would help build out and everything. It's like, I didn't know any of this shit about him either. And so she gets so mad that nobody shows up to his funeral. She hijacks the other funeral to have someone to hear about his life.
Wow.
So she grabs his picture off the stand, drags it in there, stops the other funeral, and then like just goes off on like this 10-minute rant. And like she's like on the verge of tears. Like it's really fucking moving. And I was like, damn, I want somebody to talk about me like that, you know. I mean, nobody will, but you know, nobody even be at my funeral. It's fine.
I can only hope.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and you got to think that she's so mad because nobody knew or gave a fuck by the time he died.
Wow.
Except for the people who kind of knew him proper. And she decided that she wanted to make sure that people would remember him from there on out, and decided to make a change and do stuff in his name because otherwise nobody would remember the man he was, because nobody fucking knew the man he was.
Right.
So it's actually really fucking cool. So on top of all the extra drama and a lot of this episode, I'd say more than half of this episode was dedicated to just him dying and dealing with that. And like she literally wasn't dealing with it proper. Like her brain was fucking broken. Like she wouldn't go back to her apartment. She moved in. She moved in with Midge and her family, who just finally got their apartment in order. And so now you got this crazy, short, very rude mouth lesbian, or at least supposed lesbian. That's the thing. They always assume that she's a lesbian, but we don't actually know. But that's also kind of a weird faux pas that happens in the next episode, which is actually really funny.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a fucking fantastic show. Anybody who has Amazon needs to be watching this show. Go back, watch it, at least obviously catch up, because first you see, look, I mentioned it before. Bless somebody, I think that somebody sneezed. I don't know what that was. The first episode you see her tits, so there you go.
Wow.
And now,
Wait,
sold.
yes,
the looking like a man lady.
No, not her. You see Miss Maisel. No. You don't see Susie's. You see Midge's tits. Midge is her nickname. Her name is Miriam. Because she drunkenly takes the stage and like she's talking about how it's a lot of work to look this good after 2 kids. Like, y'all want to see my tits? Check this out. And literally fucking pulls her tits out. Now, mind you, that's the only time you see them, but that's how you get hooked, right?
Of course.
Yeah, so either way, she's worth watching. And the Lenny Bruce character is still around, thank God. And I'm still wondering, because they have an interesting friendship that started with her bailing him out of jail and then him bailing her out of jail. It just kind of goes back and forth. And so he came back again finally in this season, in this new episode, for a very interesting interaction.
Right.
And they're doing really good on cliffhangers between episodes. So like one episode ended on a note being written down from a phone call for her dad that Phoebe had called and would be calling back, and which turns out was the FBI was looking into him for accidentally admitting to committing a felony when he was a kid. So he wrote a newspaper piece where he accidentally admitting to setting fire to an FBI field office.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah, so that was also a very interesting episode. But like that, her dad is God, the guy who played Monk, Tony Shalhoub. Yeah, Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic. Yep, he's so good. Outside of that, we haven't watched any. Did we? Oh, we did watch a little more Doctor Who. Not much, but we did watch a little more. We've been trying to get back on track on Supernatural because we're still only in season 9, and we're like right near the end of season 9. I'm like, baby, we really got to crank through this shit. We still got 6 more seasons to go.
Oh, wow.
And while they're working on the prequel series, technically now, there's nothing.
Really?
Yep. So they're doing so Jensen and his wife worked on a original like treatment for it, and then sent it off to see if the studio would be interested in picking it up. And then it got leaked that they were doing this, and actually Jared heard about it on Twitter, and so Jensen felt like a shithead because his best friend, basically his brother and major co-star, finds out via Twitter that he had started another supernatural project without even talking to him first.
Ooh.
Now, mind you, it was literally just talking about it. Nothing had even been started yet.
Right.
They'd had the major discussions, and they brought it to the studio head to even see if it would be a remote possibility. I mean, there wasn't even a script. There wasn't even a story yet. Nothing like that. So they're working on a sequel, or I'm sorry, a prequel. It's going to be called The Winchesters, and it's going to follow John and Mary and their early relationships. So we'll see what happens with that. That'll be pretty interesting. What else did we watch? Did we watch anything else? I'm going to go see the Batman tomorrow.
Nice.
So
yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah, I've been trying to avoid spoilers, but from what I'm seeing, everybody's loving it. So I did want to bring something up to you guys, and I don't want people to get the wrong impression from this discussion, though.
Right.
The new recurrence of a black Catwoman.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
However, the idea that she's Selina Kyle proper, not like whenever the Catwoman movie happened, she was not Selina. She was Patience something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Do you get
with Halle Berry?
With Halle Berry, yes.
Yeah.
And that actually it sent me down a thing because I know Eartha Kitt was technically the first black Catwoman. She took over when Julie Newmar had to go film a movie. And then the third Catwoman came in for the movie in 66 Batman.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't think she was ever Selina Kyle. I think they were just called Catwoman back in the day, but I couldn't find anything definitive on that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So no, the main thing is, how do you guys feel when they race or gender swap really mainline characters?
They're always the piss out of them.
Say
you know what? It's interesting. If done well, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
Necessarily. I mean, yeah, okay. Let's say, for example, Eartha Kitt, right? As a kid, you didn't care, right? Because it's Catwoman, right? Yeah. And when you're a kid, you don't think about color.
Nope.
Right? You just think about it's a character. Oh, it's a bad guy, versus Batman, right?
Yeah.
Could be Penguin, could be Joker, could be, whatever. But, yeah, we were, what was it? Two or three different Catwomen played during 65 Batman or 66 Batman.
It was Julie Newmar, then it was Eartha Kitt, and then the third one took over at the movie.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So you really didn't care, right? And then of course 80 89 Batman came out, right?
Yep.
Well, the second one, which was like what, 1990 91.
Yeah.
Batman, so
Batman
you had
Returns, yes.
Yeah. So you had what's her face?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Which was great. And then then you had Halle Berry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, technically she's not Selina Kyle.
Nope, she was just Catwoman. Yep.
Yeah, she was just Catwoman, and Black Woman didn't care, right?
Except that movie was terrible. Except that movie being
as terrible as it was.
Yeah, Catwoman was dog shit.
But let's face it, Halle Berry.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. Okay, so I'm not going to complain about how sexy Halle Berry was in that movie. I'm only complaining about how bad that movie was.
Yeah. But the point was, it wasn't thrown in your face that she was black, right?
No.
Like, you weren't reminded of it every 5 seconds, right?
No, it wasn't a thing about it. But also the fact that it was not main Catwoman Selina Kyle. They created a new character for it.
True.
So I think at that point they realized that they shouldn't do it. Like, they shouldn't make her Selina Kyle. And I think because Batman wasn't going to be a part of it, I think they also figured there's no point because there's not going to be a romantic connection between her and Batman.
Well, exactly.
Throughout the comics and movies and TV shows and any other version of Catwoman that's been so far, basically.
You know what? Personally, I couldn't care less unless the script is made in such a way where you had to be constantly reminded of it in some way or fashion, right?
Yeah.
So and that's it, right?
If they wokeify it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, I really couldn't care about this Batman movie because it's, it's the same thing that everybody is saying since like 1989, basically, right? Oh, I'm going to watch a dark, gritty Batman movie. And then what, 97, it's the same thing again. I'm going to watch a dirty, gritty, dark Batman movie. And then 2008 comes up, another Batman trilogy, right? Yes. Oh, it's going to be dark and gritty, right?
Well, that one was.
Then you had Batflick in 2017. He's just dark and gritty. And now we have 2022, and it's the same thing all over again. It's just a new dark, gritty Batman.
Well, I don't think anybody's gonna think that the ones from the 90s were remotely dark and gritty. Those were all very colorful and annoying.
Well, okay, let's put it this way.
Okay,
the first two,
yes, were the Keaton Batman movies,
right? Keaton Batmans
were dark, yes.
Yes,
I wouldn't say gritty, but dark.
Not the Joel Schumacher ones yet.
Yes.
No, no.
But what?
I'm sorry, no.
But okay, so I think the reaction to I think the overcorrection from the Joel Schumacher movies is why we get dark, gritty Batman now.
Yeah, from now on.
No joke. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. You know what? I'm Batmaned out. It's
I could see it. Yeah. But
yeah, it's nothing new. It's just just another Batman movie.
Well, you know that this one in particular was second fiddle to the movie that was actually supposed to happen.
Yeah,
the Ben Affleck run Batman movie that was supposed to happen, that was set within the DCEU, and then the problem is that he ended up having to do all of it. He made himself the fucking writer, director, producer, all that bullshit, and it just blew out his fucking brain, and he just said, screw this, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, trying to make a Batman movie but run all of it himself really kind of basically ended his career as Batman. And then, of course, the Snyderverse just died anyways. Well, almost died, technically, if we're still going. But now it's the James Gunn verse, hopefully. But the okay, so back on topic at least.
We're still in the college, yes.
Yeah.
So personally, I couldn't care less. As long as it's written right, I'll be happy.
Okay. I'm going to hear Sean elaborate on it.
Okay. So to me, when you veer away from the source material like that, it's annoying because it can't be unseen. You keep picking it up. It's like if Superman was black.
Agree.
Yes.
You would never be able to unsee that the whole time Superman's white, but this is a black dude. No matter how good he's playing the character or how they make his story turn out, it's just you can't get past it to me.
Yeah.
That being said, Catwoman, every time someone's done Catwoman, it wasn't a white woman. To me, it doesn't matter that much because they've always been hot. Like they're always super hot when they pick
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Although I don't think Zoe Kravitz is that hot personally, but that's just me.
She's sexy though.
I mean, if you like her, cool. She's not unattractive. She's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But to me, her version isn't. I should say that her version of Catwoman is not my version of a sexy Catwoman. I'll put it that way. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I don't know that much about Catwoman's lore, like her stories and whatnot. So to me, there's like a 5-second rundown of who this character is in my head, and like number 2 on that list is super fine woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct.
Whatever that is what it is. I'm good with it.
Okay. Well, they also swapped out Gordon because Jim Gordon is now a black guy too, which would have to mean Barbara Gordon would be as well in this universe.
Unless they pull a Fantastic Four.
I was having the thought, but I didn't want to say it out loud because nobody should do that. But that would mean we have a black Batgirl.
Yeah.
So that means they're swapping all of Batman's main squeezes.
Yeah.
Interesting. And from what I've seen, at least people other than the only complaint I saw about Zoe Kravitz was like the style of around the character, Like the way they made her Catwoman was the only thing that was kind of thrown off about it. But the chemistry between them is really good, apparently. So, from the short reviews I watched of it, I haven't seen much in the way of complaints except for runtime and like they could have probably made it 30 minutes shorter. I mean, it's nearly 3 hours. So, I mean, it's a long damn movie, but but if they make it good, I don't care if it's a long movie.
Me neither.
And the other thing that I was thinking of, I think the most classic race swapping thing that really frankly didn't work was in the original Spawn movie when they made Terry Fitzgerald a white guy who looked like Tom Green.
Oh yeah.
And as a massive Spawn fan,
yeah,
I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? I was like, in no way, shape, or form does he register as Al Simmons' best friend before he died. You know, this guy, it just looks like some dude who just came in and is like, I'm gonna scoop this girl up. And he played and seriously, I can't not see him as Tom Green. I don't even know the dude's name, but he looks like fucking young Tom Green. And that movie I mean, one person was acting their ass off in that movie, and it was John Leguizamo.
Yeah, that's true.
And
over the top as well.
And super over the top. His clown, though, was dead on. The Violator they made was really stupid, but the clown was dead on. So I can never fault it for that. But I think that was one of those really bad moments. But actually, now I think about it, the new Dune movie, you know, they swapped out Zendaya. So Zendaya taking over for I already forgot the character's name. Shadi.
Yeah.
But
it works.
I guess it works. It works in a way. I'm just not a Zendaya fan. Just I mean, like, she can act fine, but like she doesn't have the same type of sexiness I'm looking for in those roles. And the same thing with her as quote unquote MJ in the Spider-Man world. Like, she's not Mary Jane technically, but she is an MJ. But I guess they also didn't sexualize her at all, not like they did in the previous movies.
True.
So, but I don't think she has the same kind of sex appeal. She's not unattractive, and she can act. Apparently, in Euphoria, she can act like. I actually do want to start that series on multiple people's recommendation. So that might be next week where we start some Euphoria. But I think it's an interesting idea, and it's not that only white people can play characters forever. Obviously, that's a stupid concept. But with someone who has been with a character who has been predominantly throughout their 60 years of existence only been portrayed one way, it is ever so shocking. Like the concept when they were trying to say we're going to get a black Magneto in the new X-Men universe. It's like, no, we're not. Because he's an Ashkenazi Jew. It's like, he's like, no, you can't do that. It's like, sorry. It's like, that is his entire backstory. You can't just rewrite that shit.
Or case in point, what Fox did years ago with Fantastic Four.
Yes, that was really stupid.
That was just so bad.
Although Michael B. Jordan was still pretty good as Johnny Storm, even though the story was terrible, but it's still Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
because he's still pretty fucking good. Like, if you're gonna do something, invent a new character for it. You know, we talked about this before, you and I, Mike. And that's what I think was cool when they made the Catwoman movie, because they didn't need her to be Selena Kyle, because they wanted her to be her own character, to stand on her own feet.
Exactly.
As the character of Catwoman, not as the character of Selena Kyle.
That's right. Give it something new, play with it, see if it works. If it sticks to the wall, fantastic.
Exactly. And I don't even need her to be like the blonde white woman either, because in most modern interpretations, she's not. She's either brunette or she's got black hair.
Yeah.
So, you know, and she's supposed to be a super thief and kind of a kind-hearted criminal in the same way. Like, she doesn't kill or anything like that. She'll fight for her life and she'll kick some ass to get away. But her concept is, I need to get away with this shit and get back to fucking Bruce Wayne.
That's right.
So if she could still embody the character in this new movie, I guess I can see past it. It's just one of those things is like, why did we do this? Was it a case of she was the best best thing for the role, or was it a corporate decision and they had to fill a quota? And I hate that. Like, if it comes down to being the right person for the job,
No,
fine. But if it is a corporate quota nonsense thing, then get the fuck out of here with that.
I don't know, and that's where I'm mixed. I mean, I'll have to see it too. I will admit that I haven't seen it.
Yes.
But I'm certainly certainly not going to go by, what the reviewers say, because they're getting paid to push the movie anyway.
Well, see, I don't go by.
Of course, you're going to praise it up the yin yang, right?
Well, that's
and studios hire bots all the time to go all over Twitter and Facebook and blah 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 to hype up a movie just so it drives people to go see it, right? Yes. I mean, opening weekend so far looks like $128 million. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
I mean, that's pretty close to how Spider-Man No Way Home opened up.
Mm-hmm.
But is it gonna, progress at the box office
once the hype gets out there? Yes. But see, the thing is, I don't listen to mainstream reviewers. I don't look at scores. I go to the people I trust who will be honest about things and who aren't getting paid by studio heads to give a review. I go to the people who give honest reviews of anything. It doesn't matter. Now, I will watch a variety of reviews to get different perspectives on it, though.
Right.
Like, and of course, I try to go no spoilers as best I can, even though some people on the internet can't seem to not throw out fucking spoiler videos the second day of release. It's like, look, I know you guys watched this 3 weeks ago and you've been sitting on this review for a while and the embargo technically dropped, but come on, get it past the second day. You can still get your review out first, but let other people have a chance to watch it first. God damn. Yeah. Or don't put the spoilers in a thumbnail. Now, mind you, it's a Batman movie, so it's not going to be anything too crazy. It's not like the Spider-Man or any, like, Marvel spoilers are the worst, and we're going to talk about Marvel spoilers here in topics in a minute. But also, we want to talk. We still never got around to talking about the whole controversy for the Lord of the Rings series, which also plays into this whole concept of race switching, which is a little.
God, don't get me started.
No, well, we're gonna get started, but we're gonna. Either way, we're gonna. So, moving on with the rest of my week, I did get a few things in over the last couple weeks, and I've been building kits like crazy just to try to get through my backlog. Actually, just yesterday I got 2 P Bandai kits in that I had pre-ordered many months ago.
Nice.
Those are for a specific yearly event that I do in October. Some of the long-term fans will know what they are. And then I got more. Oof, some kind of bad sound. What was that? More Power Ranger stuff. A pre-order that I did from Hasbro Pulse via Amazon came many months early. So it was like slated to be in like September. And I was like, what the fuck? It was like, that is nearly a year past pre-order date. And then I got a notification. Oh, it's on its way. I was like, wait, what? I was like, what happened there? So, due to my job, which you guys know what I do, we noticed that the last 2 weeks have been particularly busy, like out of the blue. So what it seems like is that more shipments are getting through, more things are getting unbacked up in the ports. Because I talked to my cousin today at the thing, and he said, yeah, it's a little weird. We had stuff that has said it was on back order for the next 6 months, and part of the shipment showed up 2 days ago. So, things are starting to come through that were really delayed. So if you guys have been waiting on certain pre-orders for a while, depending on what they are, they probably are going to be coming in pretty soon.
Lovely.
I am fairly excited about this. So obviously we showed Power Rangers a lot of love earlier during Sean's week. But continuing on with the kind of monsters series that they're doing, I got my Finster, the guy who originally was making all the monsters for Rita Repulsa and all that. And he is a very cool figure. I haven't opened the box yet, but I've like looked it over. It is very cool. And remember I talked about the whole thing a couple weeks ago about how they like to reuse base molds and stuff like that,
Oh,
and
yes.
how it might, so I've got a lot of Rangers lately, and they all share the same kind of base.
Right.
But when I got the Phantom Ranger, that's a one-off. He doesn't look like
Oh.
anyone else. Finster, he's a one-off. Doesn't look like anyone else. Got Ecliptor. I forgot about this. It came in like weeks ago. I got Ecliptor and Astronema. And today I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, where the fuck is that box? Like, I know it was in here, and I remember I threw away everything that was in the kitchen. I was like, fuck, did I accidentally throw that away without ever opening it?
Right.
Luckily I found it, but like Ecliptor, there's only two uses for him. There's the normal version, there's the repaired version, and there's the red version. So I guess three uses, but the red version is just a recolor. So they're actually giving us a lot of unique molds when it comes to the bad guys. Like Rangers are literally like a dime a dozen. But it's actually very cool. The only thing I'm looking forward to trying to find is the Silver Ranger from In Space, which is a Walgreens exclusive somehow.
No, yeah.
Or I'll just wait for it to actually come into stock at Pulse, like I did today when I ordered the Pink Ranger 2-pack, so that I could finally have my Zeo Pink. I talked about a couple weeks ago. So I was like, I can't complete the Zeo set without her. And I was like, fuck, am I ever going to find this? And then I realized it's literally just sitting there in stock. It has a Pulse. So I ordered that today. But with Finster, realistically, all we need is like Squat and Babu from the original run of Mighty Morphin. And we'll have like the Rita and Zed like cronies.
Lovely.
And, that's actually really cool. Like, because I would love to be able to build out like a Rita's Palace set, like for diorama.
Yeah.
And I know people who are making like 3D molds of all that stuff, so we can actually, that'd be a lot of fun to get. Also with Power Rangers, I've been reading the comics, telling you guys about that. I was telling Sean about it a lot. I read the first volume of Necessary Evil. So that is the introduction to the White Ranger, how Tommy becomes the White Ranger, and then also how the Omega Rangers become a thing. And it's really interesting because they tell it in a non-linear fashion between the two different comics. So you actually start out with the Omega Rangers being a thing and the White Ranger being a thing, and then in the other comic, it's how they get there.
Right.
So it's actually kind of cool how they tell parallel stories in the timelines. But Necessary Evil is really interesting because I had no idea what they were going through for that storyline. So the Omega Rangers, who are like a really powerful group, it's kind of a universal type of Power Ranger thing. So they were recruited to hunt down people who have been infused with the power of the Morphin Grid. So no morpher, no coin. They don't turn into Rangers. These people literally just have the power of the grid flowing through them. And most of them are bad guys. So they're going around and capturing them, canning them, just like Rita Repulsa and that kind of stuff. And one of the people who found themselves with this kind of thing is one of the Omega Rangers. So she starts feeling away whenever they start arresting so many of these people. So it turns into a whole ordeal. And then in the where was that? Somewhere in there, we learn what has happened to Rita, or what happened to Rita back in the day, and all of her guys when they were locked away for 10,000 years in the little space dumpster.
Yeah.
Very interesting concept for a prison. So it's a virtual prison that they invented for these particular bad people. And it gives you either a positive living environment, depending on how bad you are. Like if you're just kind of on the edge of being a bad guy, they'll just give you kind of a positive reinforcement thing and just make you happy all the time. One of them lets you just kind of be yourself if wherever you were doing while being an evil person was not really allowing you to just be you. So that's pretty cool. That lets you live out like virtual simulations of all these things. In Goldar's case, he is winning battles alongside his brother, who originally died. So he gets to be happy. for those who, it's like the interesting thing in the comic book is learning about Goldar's brother, Silverback. So they were literally gold and silver brothers. But Rita's punishment is really interesting, and it's something that it has been done before, but it's interesting for her case. So with Rita, she wakes up in the body of a young girl, and she's very confused. And then when that young girl's mom walks in, hearing her, playing, all of a sudden she clicks in, and now she's just living that girl's life. Forgets who she was as Rita, and then just lives through the whole life of this person, all the way up until they're like 70. All the relationships she's built, the education she's gone through, people that she's lost. And she lives through that entire life up until Rita invades her planet and kills her.
Bummer.
So her punishment is to live every life of every person she has ever killed.
Yeah, that's up for poetic justice.
From birth to the time that Rita killed them. And there's over 4.6 million victims. Yeah. So, and so she finds out what her punishment is going to be after she kills herself. And she's like, wait, don't do it. And then it starts the next one. And then it rolls right into it. It's even younger girl. So it's interesting. All alien species and stuff like that. So it's even different. So she gets to live the lives of these different people for however long she's in prison. I was like, damn, that. And Zordon came up with that. So
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah, so it's just like, I mean, this is a literal karma is a bitch because she ends up having to live to kill herself. Regardless if it's a good life or a bad life, however kind of existence it was, it always ends at the death of her own hands. So, pretty interesting storyline. I was like, damn. I mean, obviously we were never going to get this in the TV show.
No, because you couldn't portray that.
No, there would be no way to do it.
That'd be way too dark.
Yeah, considering that was in the 80s and 90s, there's no way they would have pulled that off.
Yeah.
But that's why I love what these comics have done, and I've been talking about it for however many weeks now. That it's just the story that these guys at Moon Studios has come up with on the basis of what Power Rangers was is crazy. And then, of course, the Universe comic is continuing. So we're getting further and further along in the how Power Rangers originally came to be. And that kind of stuff like that. So it's an interesting run on that. And I did pick up a new comic, actually. It's actually a Firefly continuation comic.
Oh.
Yeah. It's actually called, I think it's called All New Firefly. And it picks up probably like, if I had to guess, something like maybe like less than that. Maybe like 5 years after Serenity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this is in the wake of what happened in Serenity. So
yeah.
The characters who are no longer around are not there. We have 2 new characters we know nothing about, except for one obvious connection to one of the characters. The other guy, I don't know who this guy is yet. Obviously, it's a whole new story, and it is by Boom Studios, so it's the same people who do Power Rangers and a few of the other things.
All right.
Pretty interesting narratively. It opened up with Jane as a kid, and then it goes into Jane being in trouble as an adult. Go figure. And then, as usual, Mal has to come and rescue him from jail.
Of course.
And the other thing about it is, just to intrigue those who know of Firefly, Mal is no longer the captain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Very interesting twist.
So, give me
hold on. Go ahead, Sean.
Give me like a 30-second pitch of Firefly. Like, what's it about? Give me a 30-second pitch of it.
Okay, so 30-second pitch of Firefly. The Earth became so polluted that humanity couldn't stay on it anymore, so they built a buttload of spaceships and flew out into space to find a new galaxy to live in. So basically America and China basically were the 2 remaining factions that were still alive then, and they did the thing. Going to bed, babe? Cool. Love you. And so we end up with a cultural merging of China and American values and designs and everything else like that. And basically the core worlds are all of the shining beauty. It's very much like Star Wars, where everything in the core is where all the money is. It's where the super elites live. Most people don't even fucking worry about anything. But then the outer rim, where the planets are barely terraformed, is basically like the Old West. There was a civil war between the people who just wanted to live their lives, where the Union decided to come in and unify, or it was actually Unification Day is what they called it when the war ended. So basically, any planets that weren't specifically under the heel of the Union were at war with them, and then of course our two of our main characters were literally in the war together, and then it's basically post-war trying to live life on the edge to avoid being caught by the Union, because fuck them, basically doing criminal acts and just doing kind of dumb shit, being anti-heroes, that kind of stuff like that, and just trying to survive where there isn't much, and just trying to stay free with whatever you got with you and whoever you got behind you. And they end up taking on two particular passengers who cause a lot of trouble for them, and then the longer they're on the ship, the more they learn about why they've become a problem and why the Union is chasing them. So there's your teaser synopsis of Firefly. And I think
the Wild West meets space.
Say what?
When was this made?
Early 2000s, like 2002 to it's like 2002. So right on the heels of so you remember when Buffy the Vampire Slayer was out, the show? Yeah. So it's a Joss Whedon show, and it was right after it was during the final 2 seasons of Buffy. So wherever that ended, that's when Firefly was also going on, because Nathan Fillion went from being on Buffy to doing Firefly. And he technically he was on, because he was Caleb on Buffy. He was killed, and then he came back very briefly in the final season. But yeah, it's a great show. I mean, the CG is actually surprisingly good for when it was. I mean, it stands out. If you're on like a super HD TV, don't try to watch this like upscaled. Like, watch it in as poor quality as you can, so it'll look good. The acting is great. The story is well written. There's a lot of people who are decent, like B-list actors now that have made their start then. And of course, just everything about it was great, because it's a sense of a ragtag group of people who are only held together by their common goals, but they end up being more than that because of the situation they're forced into. So
yeah, it's totally a Wild West meets sci-fi space, right? And on this ship, it's not the fact that they go from planet to planet and do basically like good deeds, even though they're supposed to like kind of portray themselves as badass in a way, right? In a hilarious kind of way. But the spaceship itself, the Serenity, right?
Yep.
It's also like a community itself.
It's their home.
It's their home, right?
Yeah.
But they all have obviously their their rooms, their bunks and whatnot, right? But yeah, it's also the spaceship becomes the community itself, the home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And looking for the next job, basically.
Yeah. So they're basically living job to job to keep
in the sky.
Yeah. Literally just to keep going, so that they don't have to put down roots. They don't have to be under anyone's heels. They take on whatever job it is, whether it may not even be crime. It can just be, hey, transport this. They're a transport vessel. They're a cargo vessel. Yeah. So one of their jobs is to haul cattle, even though technically that was a crime. Technically speaking, that was a crime. Also, what led to them hauling the cattle was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
And like everything feeds, like every episode sort of feeds into the next. But the only thing that sucks is you don't get an answer about the biggest mystery of the show within the show, because it was canceled.
Oh,
so that's why they had to make the movie to actually give you the answers.
Oh, and the Lassiter.
Yes, the Lassiter. Yes.
Yeah. God, I always wondered if they sold that.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, wait, they didn't. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. They never did.
No.
But yeah, the Reavers. Oh my God, you'll love the Reavers, and then watch the movie, because then it just ties that whole thing together. But it's so good.
He did have a question.
Who?
You, or you were saying something?
No. Oh no, I was agreeing with y'all. Like I've seen it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing is they how do I put this? Space whores.
Yeah. Space horse.
The companions.
Love it.
The companions. It's legalized and it's like a whole thing. It's pretty fucking.
Yeah.
Yes,
Cool.
it is. And they
go to horse school, basically.
They go to like Whorgwarts.
Yeah. I'm not kidding.
Oh my god! Somebody please do some artwork for Whorgwarts.
Whorgor.
Oh my god! I can't believe that was a thing.
Whorgor.
I've been. You're a hooker, Harry.
Hell, y'all miss me any day, bitch.
I don't know if y'all heard me.
Oh Lord!
Did you hear me, Sean?
Which part?
I said you're a hooker, Harry. Anyways,
You're a Harry hooker.
somebody please. Somebody draw us a Firefly envisioned Whorgwarts. Either way, but no, it's a great, seriously, watch it. The writing is fantastic, and you care about the characters, you care about the ship. The episode Dead in the Water, I believe is what it's called. I call it Dead in the Water. It's Out of Gas is the name of the episode. That was good. The Letter, or is it The Letter? No, I think it was called The Letter. Anyways, that was a good one. Train Job is fun. That's the one that's their quote unquote pilot. That wasn't the pilot. So get this, Sean. Fox was so retarded when this show was released. They showed episode 2 before the pilot.
Yeah.
And then played the pilot. So people were very, very confused. And it was a 2-part. The thing is, like, the opening thing was a 2-parter. So there was the pilot, and then there was the 2-part episode of the Train Job. That was technically the second and third episode. They aired that before airing the pilot episode. So, and then later on they aired things out of episode or out of order, and then the finale actually never aired. Yeah. So the final episode they made never aired. And they were in the middle of filming episode 7 or 8, and they were told that they were canceled. So they weren't even done filming before they were canceled. Yeah. So and that is a great. It's an underdog story built into the actual show. But like, there's a couple episodes that are like deeply emotional. There's a couple of them that the fucking fighting is awesome. The jokes are always fucking good. The characterization is always fantastic.
Mm-hmm. The backstories are awesome.
The backstories of all the characters are well flushed out. Yeah. And you're talking about, I think technically there's only 11 episodes. Yeah. So it's like, it's a real short. They never made it all the way through. And it's just, everybody knows. Everybody who is a brown coat knows. Yeah. But anyway, worth watching by all means. And like I said, if you don't feel like streaming it, I will send you my DVDs. If you even have a DVD player laying around. But either way, so that's it for my bullshit. We do have, at least that's all I can think of at this point, other than I got very drunk last night off of tequila.
On to the new bullshit.
Yes, I got incredibly drunk off much too much tequila last night. But I was okay. It was fine. Really, Sean?
What?
Really?
You took a shit?
You did.
I just saw that, you fucker. So we didn't need a pee break. Actually, now would be a good time for a pee break if anybody needs it.
No, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, let's just keep going because we should wrap up fairly quick. All right, so news from a couple weeks ago, since we didn't get to do it. Gargoyle figures were shown, like the entire like clan, as it were, of the gargoyle figures were shown off by NECA, even though some of them are just basically rough painted prototypes. So that looks awesome. I have as many of them that are currently available pre-ordered. Can't wait. Although they still have not shown off any of the statue versions, which why they haven't just done that immediately, I don't know. Huh. So I might actually just start buying doubles and repainting them into a statue form, because it's super easy. You know? Nice. Just get some concrete colored paint and get after it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Elden Ring, that game was released, and people have been doing nothing but that. Good for them. I don't play those games, but if you do, good for you. Let us know if you've stopped playing it or you're still doing. No, you probably didn't listen to this because you're still playing Elden Ring.
Happy.
Happy. We talked about. Remember, I mentioned spoilers for Marvel movies. Lego doing their thing as always.
Yes.
So Lego, in their infinite wisdom, always tend to show off the next Marvel movie playset. And this one is a big battle. I think it looks like it's on a ship of some sort with not only regular Thor, we get Mighty Thor, which is Jane Foster, which is from the comics. No problem with that because it gives us Natalie Portman back. Which also the action figures were shown off for that because fuck keeping anything a secret. But they showed off probably the main antagonist of the movie, Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah.
With all black the Necro Sword.
Yep.
So
and
one
of the minifigures, and I kind of laughed. I'm sorry, King Valkyrie.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No, I missed that.
Oh my God, King Valkyrie.
So wait,
king, wouldn't it be queen?
Yes, it's supposed to be queen.
But wait, it's the Valkyrie character we know. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed it.
It's like king. No,
that is weird.
Oh my God.
Well, something's going to be going on with this movie to begin with because we have no idea when it's taking place because it's got to be after Endgame, obviously.
Yep.
But it doesn't seem to be taking place anywhere near the Guardians movie because Thor is in shape. He's not fat.
Yeah. So
and he's got a new costume.
It's going to be happening in between
or after. Who knows? They're going to have to play with the timeline a little. But then again, we don't know. This might be a multiverse thing entirely. It might not even happen in the main universe because the one thing about Mighty Thor from the comics is the powers were basically killing her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gave her cancer and she was dying while using the powers, essentially.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. Oh, here's the other thing. It has to be multiversal because she has Mjolnir.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so she has Mjolnir. So something is happening in this. But what if it takes place after, like, maybe it's in a universe where Thor 3 never happened. Ragnarok never happened.
I don't know.
That's the only thing I can see. It's got to be. You know,
I hope they don't start doing that shit. It's too hard to follow.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing is that they can now. They don't have an excuse to say, you know, we don't have a multiverse now. We do have a multiverse now, so we can fuck with this. Wait, was Loki in the? Was he in the teasers? I forget. Hold on.
I
have to go look now.
I don't think so.
Lego. Whoop, that's not how you spell Lego. Thor.
I don't think he was.
4. Hold on, let me see here. Nope, that's not it. Oh, there are other sets. Oh yeah, that's it right there. Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah.
I gotta look at the images. I actually never saw the box art. I only saw the actual things. Oh, there's the Doctor Strange ones. Okay, let me look here. I don't think Loki's on it. No. Wait, who is the? Oh, that's Korg. Yeah. So we got Mighty Thor, King Valkyrie. That is weird.
That is weird.
Well, they did kind of say that she would. They called her queen at some point, but then she also said she would be the new king. So who knows? And also, we don't know what's going on with this boat. This is some kind of Asgard tours. That's interesting. And it's being pulled by the giant goats. The goat boat. I just realized that's what it's called. Everybody on board the goat.
I'm there on that goat boat there.
That is hilarious, the goat boat. So we have no idea what's going on with this story at all. Something really strange.
Very hush hush.
Yeah, because we know nothing about it other than we've seen the Mighty Thor. Oh, that is really dumb. That particular figure looks really stupid that I'm looking at. Oh. Mjolnir is actually cracked. Maybe they actually... Oh, they did reassemble it somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, so they must have reforged it somehow. That's interesting. But what's funny is in the comics, Thor himself lost his name. He just went by Odin's son. So the Thor title went with Mjolnir. Like it sort of did.
Just sounds silly.
So, but I mean, it made sense because he was unworthy. So he was unworthy to carry it at that point. So he was unworthy Thor, but he just... Odin's son is his name, technically, because he is Odin's son. But Thor as a thing in the comics, because remember, he would transform into Thor from being his human form.
Don Blake, yeah.
Yeah, Donald Blake. So, you know, they could play into... If we went with the full unworthy aspect of it, we could do that. So this has to take place somewhere weird in and of itself. So who knows? And how the fuck anybody reassembled Mjolnir? Because like we never even saw them like try to reassemble it or gather the pieces. So how would we even do that? Like it just exploded. But actually, oh no, I didn't think about this. Where they set up New Asgard was there.
Yeah.
So they could have taken the time to gather the pieces if they tried.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it would be pretty easy to find.
It's Uru metal, right? So it's a mystical metal. So where would they have forged it? Would it be back on...
Take it to Eitri? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nidavellir. That's a made-up word. The made-up word place.
Yeah.
Yes. But either way, it's just funny that, like... I mean, we kind of thought that we would get... Like, to get a major Thor villain, you don't have a whole lot at this point. We don't have Beta Ray Bill, although I gotta wonder if he's gonna come into this somewhere.
Oh, God, I can only hope.
Because we already teased him way back in Ragnarok as a previous champion, so it's possible. But, you know, the idea that we're seeing mostly Thor-related people, not Guardians, not Hulk, nobody else, you know, so this will be an interesting... It'll have to be, like, stand on its own feet again.
Yeah, because I mean, his species was sort of kind of teased in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. In one of the description things.
Yeah. So everybody's kind of hoping.
Yes.
You know.
Go ahead.
When did that happen? When did they tease the species?
In the collector's room.
Yes.
With all the species.
In the collector's room, they showed off at least one of... Because... Beta Ray Bill looks a bit different from the rest of the Gorgonite, something like that. Something Knights. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It sounds like that. I don't know the exact thing.
I'm gonna have to go back to my Walt Simonson.
But like him, because he's an upgraded like warrior version, like he's a synthetic version to be a protector of the species. He looks much different. Like they're all kind of horse faced. Yeah. But also the fact that he himself was basically referenced on the statue in Sakaar. So we know that he does exist out there somehow. But it would be interesting actually to get him after or at the end of this movie, like say Jane loses Mjolnir, needs to give up the power, and he takes it up and becomes Beta Ray Bill. Because he's not going to get Stormbreaker, which was his hammer. True. So Thor has Stormbreaker now. So he's got to have something. And it would make sense if they wanted... If they didn't do what they did, clearly, where they have a reassembled Mjolnir, it would have been interesting to see it reassembled into that version of Stormbreaker and then end up in the hands of Beta Ray Bill proper. I think that would be an interesting way to go. Because
that would be awesome.
Otherwise, we have to leave it out there that Jane Foster can be the mighty Thor.
Yeah.
And I think actually in modern comics, I think she still is. Like she gave it back, and then I think she can still do it.
I don't know.
But like everything got a little wonky after what happened with the King in Black.
But if everything going on with the current MCU or MCU, not exactly holding my breath, she's going to be Thor for the foreseeable future, of course.
I don't think so because it's Natalie Portman. I don't think she's going to be that interested in it. I mean, hell, they didn't even get her back technically. For Infinity War
3.
Or for Endgame. For Endgame, she didn't even come back. That was old footage that they recycled in there.
A little bit of a disagreement, but they tempted her back with money.
Yeah, but I guess a good script might also do that. There was no reason to have her in Ragnarok, but and then of course
it's more money.
But they also had her actually snapped away, so that's convenient. That anybody who couldn't be on screen for whatever reason got snapped away. But we'll see.
Here's what I think. What I think, because you got Gog the God Hunter, God Killer,
Gore the God Butcher.
The God Butcher. Sorry,
you God butchered his name.
I'm gonna say he's gonna kill Hemsworth, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
He didn't kill him in the comics.
And Natalie Portman becomes Thor. Thor. And they're gonna write it in such a way that she's gonna say Thor.
I mean, well, how would she save him?
Let's put it this way. Okay. Let's see where it's all heading. Okay. Black Panther. It seems like we're going to be getting a female Black Panther. Okay.
Yeah, but we already know that's really falling apart. So.
Yes. Did they replace Hawkeye? Yes.
Yeah, they were going to do that anyways.
They were going to do that anyway. Yeah.
But he's not dead.
No, he's not dead.
Just in retirement.
That's true. But let's see.
He's going to be our new Nick Fury. He'll train the new Avengers.
Yeah.
Hold on,
and then we got our Captain Marvel and the Marvels coming out.
That's going to be a flop in and of itself, but not because of the reasons you say. I think it's just going to be badly done.
Apparently there was reportedly a lot of reshootings going on.
Well, that was after they had to redo so much shit. The problem with everything that happened with Marvel and COVID, they've had to reorganize so much, especially after the Fox merger.
That too.
They had to rewrite so much because now the new Miss Marvel, or Miss Marvel, I should call her. They could make it to where she's a mutant, not just gaining Carol's powers by proxy. But then we also have Photon, who is also technically a Captain Marvel at some point too.
Yeah, that's right.
We didn't get enough of her, if I'm honest.
And let's not forget the Eternals, led by.
We can completely forget the Eternals because I think I'm pretty sure Marvel is going to.
Oh, no, they're not.
Yes, they fucking are. But hold on, I want to go back because I wanted to mention something with the whole Gore the God Butcher thing.
Oh, and She-Hulk. Let's not forget She-Hulk coming out.
I'm not gonna complain, honestly, because that chick is hot.
I hope so.
Yes, but no, what I was gonna say with Gore the God Butcher, his sword, was actually made by the god of the symbiotes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now that we can actually have Venom and his entire species in the MCU, we can have that. And that's gonna be really interesting.
It's gonna be very interesting. Yeah, because that teeny little piece of Venom left behind when other Venom blinked back into his own universe.
Yes. Which I think is cool. Because we can have God knows what with that. But I think that while I'm not against them doing as many female heroes as they want to do, because, well, frankly, they have been massively underrepresented, usually relegated to side roles, or not even getting their own movies for fucking 10 years. They don't need to overcorrect, and they also just need to make sure it's good. It's like, don't just make it a shithole of a fucking series or movie, whichever it happens to be.
Yeah, no.
But I think the future of the MCU is mostly going to be TV shows with ensemble movies to wrap up big storylines from the TV shows. And I think that's a good idea, because I think with everything that happened with the first run of the Marvel shows, even leading up to What If, all builds to the two big blockbusters we've got coming, or have had.
So far, I think the only really good redeeming movie that's going to come out so far out of this whole, new phase of MCU is going to be Doctor Strange.
I don't know if it's going to be the only good one. I think it's the only one that didn't have to take on major changes because of the merger and because of COVID. Now, it did, but I think the other ones were all probably planned out decently ahead of time, and they probably had to rearrange a lot to make them work in the future.
And the only reason why I'm not including Spider-Man in this, because obviously they're doing the whole Spidey-verse thing. So that's kind of like on to the side, right?
Yeah. And with Sony also still wanting to do their own Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
And we still technically have Tom Holland, and now we have a little bit of Venom.
Yeah.
And then we got Into the Spider-Verse, which is fine. It can stay on its own. And I'm cool with that. Give us all of Spider-Verse movies. I'm happy with that because I like the style. I like the Miles character. I like all that. So give us anything that we're not getting in the main Marvel stuff with that.
Yeah.
Just keep it on its own. Leave it in its own universe. If we need it to have a weird cameo in the main MCU, like a weird animated universe, cool. But leave it at that. Don't have those things cross over. And don't make it too often to where we're bored with it. Keep us interested in things like that. So I think we went from not having a lot of Marvel exposure to having way too much. And we don't even have a future. Currently don't have a future for Fantastic Four or X-Men, because that's going to be Phase 5. So that's the hard part. Like we got to get through the all the old people are gone and we're having to play with the new kids before we get to the next big thing, and it's going to be a mess for a while. But hopefully,
because I mean, look at it so far, right? I mean, for the movies, really, we only got like Shang-Chi, the Eternals, and oh my God, is that really it? Oh, and Black Widow, right?
Black Widow, yeah, and Black Widow doesn't count because that was
exactly because that's kind of
movie from 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly, right. And then, for TV shows, obviously we got, WandaVision, and we got, Captain America, Falcon,
yes,
Loki, What If, obviously.
Yeah.
And was that it so far?
Hold on. WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki, What If. Yes. Yeah. Hawkeye.
And Hawkeye. Right. So we haven't even got an inkling of who the big giant major bad guy is even going to be,
because I don't think we have one. I think the big bad guy is the multiverse as a concept, because they're leading the Secret Wars and they need the multiverse for that. So
that would be
Secret Wars is where they have to get to.
That's on the table too.
That's where they have to get to. Period.
Because I mean,
and that's
I even heard that they will be introducing Fantastic Four in this whole latest phase, right?
Well,
and that I've even heard rumors of Galactus, but I don't even see any hints yet. Exactly. Now, I don't know if that's intentional or if they're like, oh shit, what we're doing right now isn't really going to work with anything. So,
well, I got to assume that Kevin Feige, who's still mostly in charge of this, knew what was going on months in advance and had already started planning a lot, but nothing was written in stone. Obviously, the Black Panthers as a series got screwed up by the fact that Chadwick Boseman died, unfortunately. Rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly.
However, now with the multiverse as an idea, that we don't even need the same actor to play the same part, because we could literally bring in anyone else from a different universe to play T'Challa.
Or is the bad guy gonna come from somewheres in the multiverse?
More than likely
into this MCU, right?
Yes. Which makes sense.
That would make sense.
Yes.
Interesting.
Hold on,
what do you think, Sean?
He doesn't care. Actually, Sean's muted right now, so he really can't talk. I just noticed
he's in the lavatory,
or he's talking to the lady,
or that too.
Yes. Hi, Summer. So when he gets back to it, we'll ask him.
Yeah.
So at least we didn't get an awkward goodbye. But continuing on, since we've got to really kind of pedal through this, the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruise has been experienced by people. And let's just get out of the way. It is stupid expensive, but it is at least a legit experience. Having watched a couple reviewers who have gone through it, and they talked about all the positives and all the negatives and explained and then spoiled a few things, which is good because a lot of people had no clue what they were getting into at the beginning, which I think leads to what amounted to a lot of negative criticism at the beginning of it, because people didn't understand what they were getting into with it. So if you don't know,
Yeah.
Disney has introduced this whole thing. It's their Star Cruise exclusive thing, where basically they turned a hotel into a Starliner that
Yep.
you book for a quote unquote cruise. And it's an all inclusive deal. You go to the quote unquote ship and you experience what it's like to live in the Star Wars universe, fully immersed.
Star Wars.
Fully immersed. Everyone is in
Yep.
character. Everyone is given roles. It's a choose your own adventure as well. So an event happens that allows you to pick sides in the event, whether that's stay neutral, and it's a modern, so it's the First Order and the Resistance. So you can be in the Resistance, you can be in the First Order, or aside with them, I should say. What you are as a passenger on the ship, and
Yeah.
something happens. And basically, depending on what size you choose on your little data pad that you're given, you are given side missions and things to explore and places you should go check out. Along the way, you also just get to do normal experiences on the quote unquote ship, whether that's eating in their restaurants with their Star Warsified food, which is all apparently really top notch. You can fully LARP. They have a whole costume shop where you can fit in with whatever type of costume you want. They have lightsaber classes. They've got droid building, which once again all included. So what used to be you would buy and build your own droid in the droid factory, that's actually included in this cost.
Yeah.
But just the idea that and there's some fun secret hidden stuff that apparently you only have access to with the app and things like that. And just the idea that if you're into that as a concept, say you're go to Renaissance festivals or something like that, where everyone is putting on their fake British accent, or sometimes actual British accent. I've actually met people who are legitimately British that
That's
do
right.
work them.
It adds to the experience flavor.
So to be fully immersed in such a sci-fi universe is a really cool idea. Yes, it is balls to the walls expensive for what equates to 1.5 days and 2 nights.
Oh, God.
It does include excursion down to Bakhtu, I think is what the planet is called.
I think so, yeah.
Not to be confused with Octu or Octo from the new movie series. It's not that planet. So basically, you're taking down the galaxy's edge, which is really freaking cool because the way they do it, they take you in a shuttlecraft that you don't see out of the vehicle. Outside the window just looks like space and transitioning down to the planet, and then you land, quote unquote, as a space dock. So it's actually pretty fucking cool. It is actually very cool. It
is pretty cool, yes. I will give it that.
But once again, it is very costly. The average cost is about $2,500 per person.
Yeah.
But oh, Sean's back.
Sorry.
It's okay. At least I saw that you were muted. We were because we were asking you a question, and you're like, "Wait, where did Sean go?" So, but the idea is it is fully immersive. So if you're interested, it's going to be worth it to you regardless. But know ahead of time what you're getting into story-wise. Some people just had no clue what was getting on. They were very confused because there's no prompt for anything. You don't know what you're supposed to do to move on within the story, except for following your goals or whatever you want to call it, missions in the data pad, which is a thing they give you. So it is a smartphone they give you that is hooked directly into an app that interacts with all of the things that are going on. Otherwise, you have to download the app to your own phone for normal park stuff. So this is included in this thing. It's pretty cool. But the thing is, as it stands, they've only got one storyline. By the way, Mike, I said don't spoil anything.
Oh, well, I suppose.
I will. I'm going to edit this part out so that people.
Okay, fine.
Yes. So, but yes, that is part of the experience. I'll edit out
Yeah.
just that chunk, so for anybody, because it is basically like living out a storyline. There is a storyline from the moment you land on the ship to the moment you leave the ship. It is an active storyline that you participate in to whatever level you want to.
Yeah.
But the idea is currently there's only the one storyline, and this is, I guess they're doing it every few days. Maybe they're doing it only once a week. So it is a fairly exclusive deal. So you have to schedule it. It's not like you can just go any given day to the fucking Disney, you know? But if you're going to already go, like how much money does it normally cost just to go to Disney on your own, you know? So if you,
overpriced anyway.
yeah. So, I mean, if you're already spending $2,000 or $3,000 to take your family to fucking Disney for a week, if you got the money, go ahead and tack a couple days on with that shit. Like, say maybe it's just for you and your wife, and your mom and dad can watch the kids for those 2 days while you go experience this thing, so they can go play in the regular park. Maybe they can meet up with you in Galaxy's Edge or something like that, you know. But if that's the only thing you're going to do, I could see it not being a thing. And they do have bundles that do include other stuff. So you can buy into doing stuff in the regular park and other hotel stay. So you'll go from the Star Cruiser to your normal hotel and that kind of stuff like that. So it can be rolled into a regular visit, but it's still going to be that ridiculous cost.
God damn, $5,000-$6,000 for, basically a day and a half.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like, that's overpriced. I'm sorry.
No, it is. But like we were discussing before we rolled, they've got a lot of actors that they've had to train for months.
Yeah, but they got lots of actors all over Disney anyway.
Yes,
right?
but
so this is technically not really anything new. It's just, to me, it's just the company's latest attempt to cash in on Star Wars fandom. And a lot of the videos that I've seen of this, it's full of cringe. You know what? To me, it feels more Star Trek-ish than Star Wars-ish. I
could see that, but I would also probably pay decent money to do the same thing in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, but you know what?
Like DS9. Hold on, Mike. Hold on. What if you had the same experience, but instead it was 3 days on a visit to DS9 on your way to Bajor? And the Klingons attacked. Come on, you would do it. You would fucking do it, and you know it.
I don't know.
You would do it.
Okay.
If you got to hang out at Quarks.
If I got a whole crap load of really cool merch to go with it.
Yes.
Right? If I could keep the costume and say maybe a batleth.
You do keep the costume. It's not you can rent or keep.
Well, yeah. But I mean, if I got like a really good crap load of stuff, right?
Yeah. Something to show for it.
And and you make it like maybe a week, like say 5 days.
Yeah.
I'm golden with that, right? That to me totally justifies the cost of, like, let's say off peak season 4,800 US, right?
Yeah.
To like say 2 people, maybe 3, to up to 6,000. Yeah, I could see that. But 2 days, like, freak no.
Oh, like, I understand.
Honestly thinking, in North America, how many people, right, to keep this sustainable at that price point, how many are actually going to like dive in for something like that? Not a whole hell of a lot.
Well, the other thing is, as we discussed earlier too, it's only like 200 people at a time, because you can only fit someone. It is a hotel. It's not. It's not.
I mean, how many at a time? Like, how many repeat customers are you going to have that are going to want to drop, 5, 6 big ones?
I think
time and time again.
Oh, I know people who have already planned to go 3 times. Like they've gone to the first time and they're already planning to go later again. Because the thing is, it does have repeatability, because you are missing out on the other part of the story you don't partake in. So you do get that replayability. However, if you've done it once, you should get a discount on the next one.
Oh,
in my opinion. Totally. Now, here's the thing. Now, I question for you, Sean. As I exposed for for Mike here. What universe would you pay to have a live-in experience like that? Star Wars, Star Trek, Wheel of Time.
Hogwarts.
Oh, you would if they did a whole, like, if the Harry Potter section wasn't just when you go, like, currently, but if it was a live-in experience.
Yeah, like you really would get sorted, and then they have the big feast, and then you go to your dorms with all your people. That'd be cool. The DS9 one you brought up is pretty badass, man. And have
I would fucking yes,
dude. I would be out there smoking people for real.
Hold on. Imagine if they had. Hold on. Imagine if they had the runabout defense game. Like, you have to hop in runabouts and go defend the station from attack. Like, so you go in your own little pod and you're piloting the fucking thing, and it's like moving and bouncing around and shit like that on the screens. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're one of the fucking Klingons, like, you get to come in from the Klingon side, so you're spending time on the Klingon cruiser that's coming in, and then you get to be part of the invading force. You don't have any acting parts, but you just get to play along from that side. That would be interesting.
Brush up on your Klingon.
No. Oh God, how would they translate that? You'd all have to have No, it wouldn't have to speak Klingon because you'd all have universal translators.
With the amount of Trekkers out there, or Trekkies, whatever you want to call them.
I know they would technically do this, yes, but no, actually,
yes, but they would probably more than likely understand it as well.
Yeah. So I'm with you on the whole Hogwarts thing, Sean. Except it would be weird because you would have legitimately a whole bunch of 30 and 40-year-olds in there, not kids coming to Hogwarts for the first time.
Oh my God.
Bunch of dumbasses.
Yeah.
Big giant basement dwelling fat asses.
But imagine though if they did, but yeah, exactly. So I mean, they have so much of that realistically at Universal Studios or Hollywood Studio, whatever they call it, with the whole Harry Potter park area, which is pretty freaking cool. And if we do make it down to Disney ever, I'm going there because it'll be a lot of fun. The interactivity is there, but also, like, you're with a whole bunch of people who are all just tourists. You're not with people who are playing along with the story. So having that would be a lot more fun. And having to be badly fake British for like several days would be interesting. So I mean, they could do it. It would be ridiculously expensive to have to recreate a Hogwarts castle that was at least a quarter of what it actually is, for a really, really creative hotel, as it were.
Just give me Jurassic Park.
But actually, the cool thing is, because it's based on Earth, you could legit just fucking build half the fucking thing in reality, and you can go outside, and it's real outside. Just make it look like the fucking moors of Scotland or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, that would be great. Actually, Sean had the best idea so far. Although I'm definitely on board for the DS9 idea. Not Voyager though, because all you're going to be doing is replacing bioneural gel packs. That's your only experience, replacing bioneural gel packs and ejecting the warp core.
And inoculating those gel packs too.
No, you only have to do that every now and then when you get macroviruses.
I went to Jurassic Park. That's all.
Nope. No, you don't risk that. You do not risk even fake Jurassic Park.
I do. I'm calling it. I want to see giant dinosaurs eat lawyers.
Well, I don't think they can actually make that happen. Although I have been to some of those dinosaur parks where they had the big ass animatronic dinosaurs, and it was cool. No, I think that's the hardest one because it's not people based. That has to be.
China is planning on resurrecting mammoths for the past 10 years now.
Okay, they've been trying to
They've been
trying to resurrect mammoths for 40 years and have failed repeatedly. They got they got a somewhat viable embryo, and then it died before truly developing. Because
don't care.
Well, here's
2022 now. I want my Jurassic Park.
Well, here's the problem with trying to create a mammoth is we don't have a mammoth to put it in. All we have is elephants, and elephants aren't mammoths.
No. You put up in Siberia where they used to live, everything just fine.
Shut up. I do think they have made mini mammoths before, but they just said they were sheep. Like, just ignore the trunk. They just made mini mammoths.
And then we got to have woolly rhinos on top of that.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, if they can't even make a fucking saber-toothed tiger, Yes. Or Where's My Mastodon? No, I'm just also
Flintstone World. There
yeah.
we go. That's what we need.
Oh, we need Viva Rock Vegas for real. Wait,
Yeah.
they had that.
Oh,
Hold on. They had that for a while somewhere.
They did.
Legitimately, they had a
Wasn't it
fucking.
Universal?
It had to have been Universal where they had Flintstones Land.
Yeah.
But it wasn't massive in comparison.
Eh.
But no, that because there was who had the whole Hanna-Barbera section? Somebody had that in a theme park, and it's not.
Good question.
Well, because Warner Brothers or Six Flags and Warner Brothers were always in bed together, so that's not it. Somebody did. Somebody had that because I remember it. And I mean that's an interesting one. But yeah, but then you get the weird cartoony dinosaurs, and it's just strange.
Yeah, true.
It'd be fun though, but also the Flintstones would have to be back in relevance again. Also a fantastic show that never did well in reboots.
Yeah, no.
I mean, John Goodman did a pretty decent Fred, but the guy who followed up, no. Anyways, so
yeah,
that was an interesting tangent,
Baldwin or Moranis as Barney.
You mean Barney?
Moranis. I'd have to go Moranis.
Rick Moranis was better for sure, but I also think that we have plenty of good comedians who could fill that role nowadays.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah. Actually, let's just get let's get Bert Kreischer in as Fred Flintstone. That'd be fucking fantastic. So let's see. Do we have anything else that we should talk about besides Russia invading Ukraine? Okay, so let's just talk about it since we already went into the race swapping conversation earlier. This Lord of the Rings series drama.
Oh God.
Okay, so let me just off the bat. It's weird what they did by bringing in basically introducing black variations of characters in that world. Now, here's the thing. Do I have an actual problem with it? No. Do I think it was a strange decision? Yes. Do I understand their decision? Yes. It's Amazon. They have quotas. But holy shit, the backlash. And then the return backlash.
Oh, yeah.
Has been insane.
Do I have a problem with it? You're damn right I do. Yeah. Should they race swapped? No.
Yeah. I don't think it was a good idea by any means, but I don't necessarily have an issue with it because
it was a horrible idea.
Well, it's also meant to be an older world.
Yes.
So here's the thing about it. They could technically work in why we don't see any darker skinned Middle Earth people in the future.
Well, see, the thing is...
hold on. I do have a question, though. I have a question, though.
Okay.
Is this based on any previous Tolkien thing? Like, I know...
Yes and no.
I think it's something in the Silmarillion, right? To a degree.
Who's going?
Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead, Sean.
Okay, so here's the deal. Lord of the Rings was in the Third Age, right? You get a little precursor to the Second Age. The Silmarillion is from the start of time.
Oh, okay, so way back when.
Yes, way back, like how everything got started, basically who God is, and then who are his angels and demons and blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
It all kind of relates. Okay, so Amazon doesn't have rights to the Silmarillion. Okay. They don't even have rights to the Second Age, which is where this thing's kind of taking place. So they had to make up a lot of that shit.
Which makes sense.
So apparently they knew this was going to happen because they already had excuses for a lot of things that were going to happen. That Lord of the Rings and whatnot takes place in the West. Well, what do the people in the East look like? So the Black Dwarf lady, Queen,
I thought
she might be from the East.
Well, I thought Middle Earth, as we know it, is the East, and they sail to the West at the end, across the sea.
Well, you go farther west go to
further west, not America. You go to not America.
Land of the Undying, yeah.
Canada.
Yeah,
Iceland. They're going to Iceland.
Right. So there's their scapegoat. Is number one, we had to make some shit up. Number two, we all know what they're doing because they have to.
Yes, and that's the sad part is because they have to.
Right.
In my opinion.
The other parts, besides the Black Dwarf and the Black Elf, Galadriel, how she portrayed.
I haven't seen
It is a little.
I haven't seen enough
Do
of
what?
it to know the details on that. I only saw the teaser. I didn't see. So I know that's her like
Yeah,
scaling across the rocks and stuff.
yeah, and then that's a big thing that happened in this in the one of the stories of the Silmarillion is they have to cross this pass. But anyways, so there's really not a whole lot about her in the Silmarillion. There is, but there's not like a full
Not like
story that
there's not a
follows
whole
her whole
passage
life.
about her. Yeah.
Yeah.
It describe her on how what she looks like, how she acts, and she is different
Mhm.
than what she's like in Lord of the Rings. But they are going to portray her as a super powerful warrior type woman,
Okay.
and that makes people uneasy too because the super hardcore fans, man, if you're not going to follow the source material, they're like, "Fuck you." And I get it, I
Yeah.
totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wish they would. I really wish they would follow the source material closer.
Is there a reason why? Because they sunk. This is the most expensive
Yeah.
show ever. Like,
Yep.
what is it? Like $350 million or something like that.
Something like
it's
that.
an absurd. I mean, bigger than Game of Thrones budget by a long shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're gonna sink. And this is Amazon. They don't fuck around. You know, when they put money into something, I think whoever is funding. I think Bezos himself literally wanted this fucking done and didn't give a fuck how much money it was going to cost. Basically, money was
That's primarily why I bought MGM.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's what was going on from what I heard. But the thing is like, okay, so I'll just say this: Black elves don't make a lot of sense. I mean, like, yes, if we're going to say this is a different area that we may have never seen before, fine. That's actually an okay excuse. It's a stupid one, but in world it somewhat makes sense. Black dwarves, I actually really don't see a problem with that, except people would see like, oh, you're going to make them this way. I was like, okay, if you actually look into what the dwarves are based on, it's like the short, greedy guys with fucking big noses who are only obsessed with gold. Yeah, we all know what Tolkien was on about. The tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed people who are really good at everything and see themselves as super pure. Huh? What was he talking about there? It's like he wrote about what he knew, but in a fantastical way. You know?
Yes, that too. There was a lot about Tolkien.
Yeah.
That
I'm not saying he was being away about things, but this was also the world he was living in.
Well, yeah, European.
Yes,
primarily
super European.
Right?
Yes.
See, the thing a lot of people do not talk about J.R.R. Tolkien
Was it Bruno?
is that he was friends with the one that Chronicles of Narnia, the author.
Crap! I had it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of his name again. I'm sorry, it just
I will Google.
Eludes me.
Continue. I will Google.
But anyway, he was friends with him. Damn it, it's gonna bug me until I remember.
C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis. Yes,
I was Googling it.
Yeah, and yeah. So the thing is, here's what it was, right? And you can look it up yourself. It is actually documented. He was friends with C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis was a Protestant. Tolkien was a Catholic. Okay, and they were both friends during World War I.
Mm-hmm.
Now, both were Christian men on top of that, right? They did believe in God, and they saw during their time, right, in the early 1900s,
yes,
that they were seeing a falling away of people in the church,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So they were both interested in writing, right? C.S. Lewis, of course, wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, where he would parody essentially, literature of stories from the Bible, right?
Yes.
That obviously because Aslan is a parody of Jesus,
lying Jesus,
blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And J.R. Tolkien, of course, he wrote obviously Lord of the Rings, and he told it also, from a biblical viewpoint, but on top of that, he also included a lot of European stories, mythical stories and whatnot, which is why it includes elves and dwarves and blah blah blah.
Dragons,
right?
all the mythological bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is all very predominant in a European culture, which is predominantly, not being racist, white. Right?
Yeah.
So this is the age that he's writing it from, and from the ethos that he's learned from, and from a religious standpoint on top of that, right?
Yes.
So to make dwarves, this or that, or just mixing it up with all this stupid gender swapping and race swapping and stuff like that, to me personally, I just find it a huge slap in the face to Lord of the Rings, to J.R.
To what
Tolkien,
was
and
invented,
general,
yes.
to everything, right? I mean, think about it. Dwarves live underground. They do not exactly get a lot of sunlight. So,
but they
black,
do forge a lot of things, so they would have a lot of fire burn.
True, but
that would be a
primarily
few of
still
them.
underground, right?
Yes.
So
they're actually going to be very pale. So wait,
plus on top of that, I'm pretty sure, and maybe Sean can back me up on this, but I'm pretty sure that J.R. Tolkien also wrote, like, dwarf women, they also have beards.
Yes, they do. They often were confused for men.
Exactly.
Gimli talked about that in the second movie.
So let's stop right there. So in the books, it does describe dwarven women as having beards, but in the movies, he's telling that story that they're often mistaken for men.
Yes.
For men. Yeah.
But then he starts to say, of course, that's ridiculous, and then he falls off the horse. Because none of that shit's in the book.
Yeah,
they have beards in the book.
Yeah. Well, they show, at least they show, I think in the teaser they do show a couple of dwarf women, and not just the black one. I thought maybe I saw somewhere else where they were like, literally, they look like a slightly more shapely version of the dwarves we've seen, but they're still basically a stocky, hairy, beardy woman. And you know what? They're dwarves. That's a thing. Like, that is, as far as I've ever known, it's like, yeah, that's going to be a thing. It's not like they're not gnomes. Gnomes are a different story, although very similar in a lot of aspects. But like, it would be weird regardless. However, that's the way it was written, as it is written, as it should be done. Anyways, it is, and I get it. They made this show in 2021, 2022, not 2001. So that is the unfortunate world we live in, where they have to rewrite anything and everything to meet a diversity quota, and even if it doesn't fit the narrative of the story being written, it's just something that has to be done. And that is a major issue with Hollywood. But the fact that, if Bezos himself is such a giant nerd that he wanted this done, every creative decision that led to this should have fucking set off his nerd senses like it has done for everyone else. If it mattered enough to him, and he is literally fronting this with his own fucking money, this is no joke, it's his money to make this happen. Why the fuck would he not take creative control and say, no, we're not doing that? Just
because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. And once again, like, if you make it work, as we talked about earlier, if you can make it work, fine, I guess. If it works in a story and it works as the actors are good and the way it's written is good and whatever, and you just make it blend in, so to speak, that you just, you don't see it that way anymore. I think the problem is that they wanted to highlight what they had done, whether they meant to or not. That's what it turned out to be. Look at what we've done. It's like, we see what you did. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
It's like a kid who colored on the wall. Mommy, look. And it's just like, what the fuck? Actually, that was a poor choice of words on my part, now that I think about it. But the idea is just like, come on, like, if you're gonna do it, one, own up to it from the beginning, so the fans can have the outcry at the beginning, so you know what mistake you should not go for.
Well, precisely, because you got a franchise here that's 70 plus years old,
isn't it?
right?
100, 100 years old at this point.
Well, yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
You have a legacy, a very long legacy. You have books,
Sorry
you
about
have
that.
games, you have like besides the Peter Jackson,
Exactly. Yes, yes.
series,
the other stuff that
right?
also, yeah.
Yeah, you have exactly from years ago, the animated series. You have stories, TV shows, you have everything. And now all of a sudden this is going to come along and say, "No."
Wait, hold on.
Give you the big middle finger and say, "We're just going to change this around because diversity."
I do want to say, if the goblins don't have a Cockney accent, I will be upset.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, frankly,
yeah,
exactly. And obviously, well, I don't know if we'll have orcs or not. I don't know if they existed in that age or not. But obviously, Uruk-hai don't exist. Those were created during Lord of the Rings. I know that much. I'm not stupid, but like, if they get the world right and write a good story within the world based on what they do have to work with, I'm probably not going to give a fuck that they even did this. If they go, well, because I'm not that diehard a fan to be that angry about it. Also, whether or not it's a character that existed in the first place, like the ones that they have changed. It's, well, like we talked about earlier, race swapping, known characters, not gnome, known.
The Black Dwarf lady is not a known character. She didn't exist in the books.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like, so if they want to create their own character, I can't get mad at it. It's like, okay, so this person didn't exist in the first place, so it's not it. While it's an aberration unto itself, it technically, there's nothing new to be angry about. You know, it's just that it's something that stands out, but it's also a new character that wasn't there in the first place, so that person would stand out in the first place. So now here's what's going to be interesting in this series. If we start seeing any developmental or story developments around that concept within the story, like what if they go into weird things where people start seeing it like, well, wait a minute, why are there dwarves that look like this? And then they start isolating, like the light dwarfs and the dark dwarfs, so to speak. If they do, they might, hopefully they don't get preachy with it, but what if they follow that concept a little bit, and then maybe there is stuff that happened in the history that was never written, as it were. Yeah, maybe they'll make something out of it. I don't know. Or maybe they'll just go like, who cares? Like we talked about earlier about kids don't see race and stuff like that, and it shouldn't be an issue. You know, you wouldn't see those things when you're younger, and you wouldn't care. We only care nowadays because we've been forced to care way beyond any normal expectation, and we've also been forced to be angry about it way beyond expectation over the last couple of years.
Also, you're being told you have to care.
Yes, that too. That's what I was getting at. It's being told what to care about and why we should be caring about it, and if we don't, we are clearly an ist of some sort. And basically, I just want to be a nerdist. I don't want to be anything else. It's like, can I just be angry that you guys did something weird with the thing that I love and not have anything to do with that particular problem? And I mean, sure, it is, you know, race swapping is weird. It was weird in Doctor Strange when they made the Ancient One a Welsh white woman. You know, or is she Welsh? Yeah, I think so. But the character totally worked.
It did.
Because the Ancient One was like a really old, like Tibetan monk style. And yes, they needed to sell this movie in China. You can't show anything pro-Tibet in China. And that sucks. Yeah. Since we started making movies which I think Shang-Chi pissed them off. Eternals obviously pissed them off, but mostly because of the director. So I'm actually all for movies that don't give a fuck what China thinks. Even though they are now the top box office in the world, which is shitty, but it is the way the world works. When you have when you have a sixth of the world's population in your country, you can kind of command that.
But how many of that sixth can actually afford to go to the movies?
None of them. It's fine.
No.
So yeah, but they all you can stream it anywhere at home as long as you've got a Roku.
Mm.
It's like no, it's just streamed in on CCTV. Sorry, CCP TV. With the edited endings. Yes, hold on.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
what
exactly.
movie? What movies did they do that to? Where they edited the ending and they cut it off and then put text on the screen. What movies were they doing that to?
Oh God, I remember that from
Oh, that was a
ages.
huge joke.
Yeah,
At the beginning of the year. What was it? Not the
God,
Matrix. Was it Die Hard? It was
it might
something.
have
There was
been.
something that I think it might have been Die Hard. There was a couple of them that did it, and it was bad. What are you doing, Sean?
Oh, I was cleaning up.
Okay, so what is that noise? Um, but either way, it's just like, oh God, China. This won't be. They won't watch this in China because they're not allowed to have black people on things in China.
Yeah, or
Well,
Winnie the Pooh.
or they're not on the poster, anyways.
Yeah,
But that's fine because people are watching it. I do want to watch the series because it does cover something I know nothing about. If nobody told me to be outraged about this or that I should be outraged about this, I literally wouldn't care. I would think
Oh, yeah.
it was odd, but I also wouldn't care. I can still have that way we were raised where you weren't raised to notice and make a deal about someone's race. You
Yeah.
just accepted that there was a person there that looks different to you and they're a person and it doesn't matter. But now we're told to be angry about these things far beyond what we should, and it annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like, but once again, if they're playing around with characters that never existed, then kind of nobody should have originally, or have an ability to bitch about it. It's not like they made Gandalf black, which would be weird.
Yeah,
Because he's gray. You can't make him black.
That's racist.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I know.
He's Gandalf the off-white.
The beige.
So it.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but in my brain, I can edit this out. That's how I can do these things.
Yeah, there you go.
The term halfling sounds very racist, even though you're just talking about hobbits and other very small.
I don't know. I
humanoids.
see.
It sounds.
How?
Huh?
I really honestly don't see how.
Just because of the connotation when somebody is half something, but they're actually literally just talking about their size. It's like it's a size relation. It has nothing to do with anything else.
You know what?
Hold on. What
If
about
people
black
have
hobbits?
such a complaint, then really they're honestly not a true fan. Because if they can understand the time when this was written,
yeah,
and where it was written and why it was written,
it was a problematic time, Mike. All times were problematic that aren't now.
Well, yeah, all times are problematic, but you know what? You have to think of the mindset of the era it was written.
Can I make that shirt? All times are problematic that aren't now.
Yeah.
It's like, cancel history.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need to learn from it. Oh, I do have a question though, since you guys do know a little bit. You obviously know more about this. Because it's going to be taking place in a different part of Middle Earth, right?
Right.
Do we even discover hobbits in that part of the story, or were they a more recent thing?
Good question.
So basically, there's going to be a halfling type race or species in there, kind of like Smeagol.
Yeah, because he wasn't actually a hobbit; he was just hobbit-like.
He was something akin to a hobbit, and he was hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. There's going to be a halfling type race in the show a little bit.
Okay. I was just interested to know because I want to see them do. Actually, they're not going to put. I don't know. They got the money. They might do it
because the ring gave him extended, unusual life.
Yes. Well, the one thing I was getting at was like because of the Force perspective stuff that they developed and came up with for Lord of the Rings and those movies. Would they bother doing that nowadays, or would they just CG the fuck out of everything? Because they have the budget.
CG'd.
I don't, because that was very much a Weta thing. How much is Weta involved in this?
Considering how much CG costs and the amount of money.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I have a feeling that with that much money, they can build any set they need. They can do a lot of things that they don't have to CG. Yeah. And if they're smart, then they would know that, the best shows have a great blend of practical and CG. and to make it seamless because you use one over the other.
Bezos is putting his own money into this, and he can build a penis rocket.
Yeah,
He does say more.
He can build several.
There you go.
Yeah, cock rockets.
Yeah.
If a man can send other people to space in his own personal rocket, then he damn well better make a show that looks fucking great for $500,000 fucking dollars. Sorry, $500 million fucking dollars with a
Man, I just hope it's going to be awesome. I mean, I really want
that's my best. Yeah,
something to consume from that
world.
And it's been so long, and I mean,
I'm glad
even
they're not.
If most people hate it, it's gonna succeed.
Yeah, well, I doubt it'll never make back its own money because it's a TV show.
Yeah,
that's the weird part. Is it's not like you're going to get box office sales. So this is going to be a financial loss, technically speaking, from the get-go.
Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting concept, though. What if instead of doing an original series like this, they just remade the movies in a modern day as a TV series? Would it be successful, or would you even want that?
No.
You'd rather just leave the Peter Jackson saga as it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me offer up a better thing. What if they fixed what they did wrong with the Hobbit movies?
Dude, what's wrong with the Hobbit movies? I don't understand why people hate them.
Yeah,
because they added and fluffed way too much shit. I think that's the only problem they have. It never needed to be 3 movies. It could have been done in 2. The Battle of 5 Armies was stretched out absurdly long. You know. Oh, how about this?
Yeah,
what if they just
see Jackson wanting to make a trilogy out of the Hobbit, just like he did a trilogy out of the Ring?
Yes, I understand the reasoning, but it was, but we also didn't need a 3-hour movie for the Battle of 5 Armies. It wasn't even that long of a battle, and it wasn't. And it wasn't 5 armies. Nobody talks about that. It was not 5 armies.
Well, true.
It was 4.
But I mean, personally, I don't have a problem with the Hobbit.
Okay,
the way it is.
I mean, I think some fans would have probably. Let me turn my mic towards myself. I think some fans would probably have liked something along those lines versus a brand new story in a different age. But I'm not going to argue with it. I did like the Hobbit movies because I didn't know that part of the story at all. But would it have killed them to at least somehow give us a Tom Bombadil?
Yes, it would have.
Okay. What if Tom Bombadil is in this story somehow? Because he is an eternal being, right?
No. I don't think it'll save it.
Well, I'm not saying it'll save it. I'm saying, what if they do? Do you think the fans will at least be happy to finally get him somehow?
Dude, fans are such a finicky thing. You never know what's going to make them happy. And even if they get what they're screaming for, nobody's ever happy.
Would they make Tom Bombadil black?
Probably.
I don't know. Given the way his character is, I don't know if people would want that. Like, that characterization is like, just from what I've heard about it, like, just the way that character functions. I don't know. I'm interested comparatively to some of these other sci-fi or fantasy series that have come out that I know zero about. At least giving me a universe I'm familiar with to some degree does pique my interest. So had there not been any bullshit controversy, I would have watched it and been no issue whatsoever. Instead, and I think this is one thing Hollywood has got to stop doing, is tainting something before it ever fucking hits our screens.
No.
Because in trying to build initial hype, they're building a lot of negative hype around almost anything that's brand new. And because negative things sell, you know, any publicity is good publicity, even if everybody fucking hates it. And I don't see them like delaying and turning around and quote unquote reshooting these things and fixing that quote unquote problem. Not by any means, but fan outcry has changed things in the past. I mean, we got a good Sonic movie from fan outcry beforehand. That was a case of negative hype fixing the problem. Unfortunately,
man, I don't think they're going to change a damn thing. They've got too much money already in it.
I think it was near
exactly. This is scheduled to come really soon.
I mean, but given how little we've seen of it, I mean,
now too late now.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying, like, are they really that far into production or post-production,
Oh, yeah.
to where they couldn't change something if they wanted to. Now, the
Right
difference is
now-
also, are these people that we've even seen going to be main characters, or are they just showing off that they were there in the first place?
Just a couple of them.
Yeah, they only showed two
Yeah,
people
just
so
a
far.
few.
I mean, who if it's like not even a big deal, who cares? Just watch the fucking show. But anyway, I'll watch it. I'll review it. Actually, we will probably all review it here on the show.
I'm definitely going to be watching it, and I'll be
Hey,
waiting for it every day, but I'm hoping for the best, expecting the worst. That's all I can say about it.
and I assume it's going to be a normal release schedule, not an all at once situation.
Yeah.
Because Amazon does that. They're really good about building out a series, and I think that's a good thing for Netflix, Amazon, HBO to do, is go back
Yeah.
to the old way of doing things, even though it's on streaming. Because I think the best series that exist, people are watching actively and waiting, because having a week to sit down and digest and rewatch and talk with your friends on the internet or your enemies on the internet about the series builds so much more. So, like, even when WandaVision was like one of the first things to come back and start doing that, everybody talked about it every fucking week. And the next
Yep.
episode came up, they all talked about it every fucking week. And it started, for anybody who didn't see the first episode, now they're interested because everyone's talking about the second episode. To where a
Yeah.
show can build hype again without it just being, oh yeah, it's on there. Just go watch the whole thing. It's fine. And then nobody talks about it after the first 2 weeks. The hype is done because you were force fed all of it at once. And I think we're seeing a return to old TV, and I'm for it because, some people love to just binge watch and get it knocked out all at once. I enjoy the wait because it gives me something to wait for. I'd rather wait for another episode to drop than an entire another series to drop to keep my interest.
True, but I'd rather have quality rather than quantity.
Well, that's a given. But the problem is we were given quantity with no quality. When you drop an entire series all at once, that's both, generally speaking.
Yeah.
We didn't care about the quality, and we gave you all of it. And just fucking watch it, you whores. We know you're not doing anything, you whores.
That's right. Consume until the next meal.
While you're at Whorgwarts, we need something to watch when not
Yeah.
going.
While you're getting your kitty tingles.
God damn it. And on that note,
I made it awkward.
yeah, you definitely. Well, Sean made it awkward, and we just kept bringing it up.
true.
Anyways, so guys, thanks for hanging out with us for this next week and this next episode of the Now You Made It Awkward podcast. It was good that we finally got back to it, and unfortunately, there wasn't any extra news this past week, so we got to hold on to the news from 2 weeks ago.
Yay!
Hopefully, we'll all still be here to record next week, but that's all in Putin's hands. So we'll see how well this goes over the next week. Please don't nuke us, please. Or anyone, actually. Just don't nuke anyone. That'd be great. Yeah. It's like no, because he lives close to you. That would be a bad thing. Also,
I'm on the other side of the country. I'm good.
Yeah, but it's north of us. We don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, but then again, my parents are on the other side. So, yeah, that would be problematic.
Yeah, let's not do that entirely. I might have to actually get this little chunk out. Let me make a note.
Just take out Jersey.
Yes, we can't be calling for the deaths of we're not Lindsey Graham. We can't be calling for the deaths of world leaders on their show. So I'm probably going to edit that little boop out, or I'll bloop it. Just for safety's sake, because it does have to go on YouTube, and YouTube is stupid. All right, guys, so make sure...
Don't nuke us.
Yes. So, like, subscribe, do all the thingies, guys. Go check out Mike's channel on the Comic Relief Crusader. You don't really have to follow Sean, but if you want to, check out ShaunDiesel's Body Shop on Facebook. He really should create an IG, but he doesn't. You need somebody to just do an IG for you, Sean. You just take pictures of what you're working on and let them post them.
Huh.
Yeah.
What's an IG?
Instagram.
Oh, that thing.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll be done.
Exactly. And then, of course, follow me.
Or can remain mysterious that way.
Yes, exactly. But then follow me on all the things SHOKY related, as if you want to. That's fine. Oh, hey, I do have ever so slightly good news. Over on my third channel, over on the It Doesn't Have to Make Sense channel, I finally got access to the community tab.
Gasp.
Dude, you know how hard it is to have to make videos for polls because you don't have a fucking community tab? Like if I'm polling for whatever fucking thing we're gonna do next, I had to make a video for it ever since I started that channel. Now I don't
Damn
have
it.
to. I can just post it on the community tab. And I still
Yay.
don't, but because I don't have enough subscribers on the second channel, I don't have a community tab there. So it is what it is. But guys, we will, as we get more episodes done, we will be uploading them audio only for streaming capabilities over on the Podbean at some point. So you guys will be able to listen straight everywhere else if you want to. But we will catch you guys next time. And we don't actually have an outro, but we should probably work on that as we develop the show. So for that, I will just say goodbye, guys, and we will see you later.
Later.
Sean, say goodbye.
Eh.
There we go.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.